Sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Thursday afternoon.
You know what it was, Mace?
What?
He trusted his gut and not those stupid analytics that you love.
How did I get into this?
Here we go, Thursday. And yes, only days away from Mandy's 3. Next Saturday night at the Commerce Casino, we will give away awards as voted by the fans of 710 ESPN. We will have fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks. And we're going to give away amazing prizes that night, including opening night tickets to Crypto.com, opening day tickets to SoFi, plus more, plus huge announcements, and we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Mason and Ireland. So you know what you got to do? You got to be there, sucker. Today is the final day to get the $49 Mandy's Ticket Deluxe. That's right, Deluxe. It's got your dinner covered, your cocktails, your raffle ticket to win so many great prizes, a limited edition Mandy's 3 t-shirt, and so much more. So go to ESPNLA.com. Buy your tickets now. And yeah, there's tables in the back, as somebody once said. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, and plenty of Mandy's 3 action where there's not a bad seat in the house, sucker. Get those deluxe tickets today, because starting tomorrow, no more deluxe tickets. Okay? Speaking of deluxe, they're celebrating their 20th year at ESPN Los Angeles. And yeah, they're going to get into all that Dan Hurley stuff. The biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon.
So yesterday was on a different sort of show because of the passing of Jerry West, and we didn't get a chance to talk to our Brian Cohen about the big cruise that he went on.
Yeah.
Well, you obviously survived it.
Right, I'm back.
Did anyone
Healthy?
get sick in your traveling party?
Actually, I got a little sick, and so did Allison when we were in Miami, though. So this was like
before you even got on the boat.
Right. So I can't,
So you can't blame the boat.
Right, can't blame the boat. But so maybe the airports.
You got everybody else sick by going onto
Right,
the boat.
exactly.
Sick.
We're like, we ain't missing this. Sorry.
Did you go on that boat that's got like 10,000 people, the new...
The Icon of the Sea. We did.
Yeah,
we were on a carnival, but in Miami, there was like 5 cruise ships all lined up, ready to go, and that was one of them. Man, that thing is huge.
10,000. It's like a floating city.
Yeah, that thing looked awesome from
So
the side.
big pile. Were there mountains of shrimp, and did you reach in with your bare hands and grab them?
Sadly, no. Couldn't find any. No,
there were no mountains of
Wow.
shrimp.
No mountains of shrimp.
That's a disappointment.
So disappointing.
No, they had a lot of good seafood, a lot of good food. I mean, the food on there was amazing.
A lot of it, right?
A lot of it.
When it was all, and on a cruise, you can eat as much as you want, whenever you want.
Oh, exactly.
Right?
You can go. You have like the sit-down dinner. It's like, let me get 5 of these steak entrees, and they'll bring them to you. So
Now,
it's
now
nice.
did you get to sit with the captain of the ship? Like, were you in the galley and you got to go to sit with the captain?
Didn't do that. There was 19 of us in my family, so we had
Wow.
our own. Huge.
19
huge
people.
Table. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It was a lot.
Who did this include? Mom and dad?
Mom and dad, my 3 older sisters, aunt, cousins, and nieces and nephews, and all the good stuff.
That's great. Well, so it's kind of like a floating family reunion.
Right, exactly. Spent most of the time probably in the casino, so just
There you
gambling
go,
the whole
yeah.
time. Yeah,
That's all you can do on those boats.
Yeah, exactly. Got my nephew just turned 19, so he's never been to like a casino or anything. He's a complete degenerate now.
Yeah,
you know?
good for him.
Right.
You got to get started when you're young if you want to be good at this.
Right.
Just like Ipe's parents used
Exactly.
to. They used to tell him that all the time.
So what happened when you got home, though, Brian?
Oh yeah. So this kind of, trips over. 9 days, whatever. Come back home. As soon as I open the door, I'm like, "What's that smell?" Dog got skunked.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Skunked.
Yeah.
So you had to do the tomato juice bath?
I haven't done that yet. Done a couple of different baths, like the collar, all that stuff. Just gotta throw it away. But it's like, walking into the house, you're like, oh, I'm happy to be home. This long trip smacked you right in the face.
Poor cop. Getting multiple showers and stuff.
Multiple showers, and she hates to shower too. So
Does she?
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. And now it's like every time I walk into the house, you still smell it.
Ireland, is that what you're supposed to do? Tomato juice?
Yeah. If your dog gets skunked, you're supposed to give him a bath in tomato juice.
Stop by the store
is that
today.
tonight? Yeah.
Dump it on her
Google
head.
it, Brian, and
Exactly.
read up on it. But that's what I've been told.
Yeah.
Go to Costco to do this. Don't go to get those little cans. Get
Oh,
the-
yeah. Don't do
Yeah,
little
buy
cans
a
don't work.
case.
Yeah.
She's a big dog too, so it's
Don't
gonna take
use
a lot.
spicy tomato mix either.
Okay,
You don't
all right.
you don't want the stuff you use for the Bloody Mary. You just want straight up tomato.
A Rabiata or whatever.
V8 or V8.
I'll report
So
back, see if it
vitamins.
works.
Excellent. So Ireland, there's a lot going on.
Can I get upset with you
Oh,
guys?
sure,
about
yeah.
something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Upset
The
yourself
show gets
away.
good. Go ahead.
You guys absolutely killed two of my favorite movies in that crosstalk.
Which
Hook?
ones?
Hook and Terminal. I love
Oh my God,
both
they are
of those
so
movies.
awful. They are so
Why
awful.
Why awful?
Well, Greg,
okay.
it's not just us. Rotten Tomatoes has that
Rotten
at
Tomatoes.
29%.
Hook is like people
No, that's the
rolling
critic.
around
I
on-
don't ever look at the critic.
people on roller skates on a boat. I think
is
that's
great.
stupid.
Hook. It was amazing.
It
That was an
might
amazing.
be-
I can watch it now and be happy watching it.
It might be Julia Roberts' worst movie ever.
Oh yeah, she
Julia
plays
Roberts is-
Tinkerbell. She's flying around.
Hey, she did great when she could get all big and then she kissed him and
If
she
you
was all
said to
happy about
Steven
it.
Spielberg, you can remove one movie
From
your
your
IMDb page,
Yeah, I totally agree with
he
you.
would take
Absolutely
Hook.
not.
He would remove Hook.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
I don't agree with you in the slightest. Robin
Yeah.
Williams was fantastic.
And by
in
the
that
way,
movie.
the Terminal. Oh my God! It's
Yeah,
just
if it's
a
not
guy
Hook,
in an
it probably
airport.
was the Terminal.
Terminal was so
Look
good.
Cody
look
talking
at
about
Cody
the
back there.
Terminal.
Cody's like, oh, Cody is
Wait a minute.
so
That's right,
he's
Cody.
so disingenuous.
Cody,
No.
you are a lying sack.
You're gonna do
Absolutely
You
not.
were going like this to me, and then the minute
Top
Greg turned
five.
around,
Top five.
you did.
Say top five.
five.
Terminal.
You're going to do really well in Bristol because you are political as hell.
You're just a kiss ass.
Yeah.
That is awful.
It's such a great movie.
Oh, you're
Medicine
right,
for
boss.
Goat. Medicine for Goat. It's so good.
Oh, it's so
I
bad.
love that movie. Catherine Zeta-Jones was amazing in it. Oh,
So,
it was a
Mace,
beautiful
you weren't
movie.
here. Greg was here. You weren't here last week when I worked with Andy,
Okay.
and we got into this huge argument about the movie Hitch.
Okay.
I love the movie Hitch.
It's good.
Andy thinks
It's
it's
good.
terrible.
I think it's good. It's not the
So-
greatest movie ever,
so
but it's
our
good.
friend Jeff Blake, who used to run distribution
Oh,
for
is this a Sony film? Yeah.
sends me this note. Thank you for defending one of my favorite movies I was ever involved with. You described it incredibly well, calling it a perfect movie. It did exactly what we set out to do. Perfect release date, February 11th, a 4-day weekend with Monday being Valentine's Day.
sure.
Will Smith, Ava Mendes, and Kevin James, 3 people beloved on the Sony lot.
Mm-hmm.
It opened to $43 million with an A cinema score, stayed number 1 for 3 weeks. The worldwide gross was $371 million. The budget on Hitch was $70 million. So it
Yeah.
made $300 million.
And by the way, not a terrible 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, so critics generally liked Hitch too.
So I sent it to Andy, and he said, nothing in that email suppresses any of my points that movie's terrible.
It's coming
It
from
made
like the
$300 million.
and it's the former chairman of Sony. What are you talking about? You can't argue with that.
Yeah, I love Hitch. Hitch
It's
is
good.
one of those, if I come across it, I'm in.
Although, you know, one of my favorite Will Smith movies is one of the more recent ones is Focus. Did you ever see Focus?
It was okay.
I love
Yeah, is Pepe
Focus.
in the ad
Yeah.
campaign?
No, you didn't love Focus?
I like certain parts of that movie because I love Margot Robbie, but it was an okay movie.
An
Wait
okay
a minute.
movie.
That's
It was
wait,
no
I
hook.
did. If it's the one with Margot Robbie, I did see it. Do they both play con artists?
Yes.
Yeah, con
Yeah, I
artists.
saw it. It's not bad.
Yeah, no,
But
I
it's not
think
like
I think it's
great
actually
movie.
well,
It's a
I
good
mean,
movie.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's no Hook.
It's
No, Hook is way better than Focus.
I want to remind everybody that it's Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Keep on listening for your cue to call. When you hear it, be calling number 7 at 877-710 ESPN and win a pair of tickets to see David Gilmour on Tuesday, October 29th at the Hollywood Bowl. Listen all day for your chance to win on Ticket Thursday. All right, coming up next for you, John. Let's go into this. The money and Dan Hurley. And was there a number that could have gotten him to take this Lakers job? We'll get into that coming up next for you. Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN.
All right, time to talk about our friends at Beverly Hills Orthodontics. They want to light up your smile with Invisalign Day on June 20th. Now, today is the 13th. June 20th is 1 week away. Don't miss this special event with an unmatchable offer. $1,650 off Invisalign treatment. This is a game changer. Let me say that one more time. Thursday, June 20th, 1 day only. Beverly Hills Orthodontics, $1,650 off your Invisalign treatment. Say goodbye to metal braces and hello to discreet, comfortable aligners that will fit seamlessly into your lifestyle. Call or text Beverly Hills Orthodontics today. Sign up for the June 20th Invisalign event. Here's the number, 310-785-0770. Again, 310-785-0770. 0770 or go to BeverlyHillsOrtho.com for more info. You can come and meet Dr. Monica Madden and her amazing team. Start your journey towards transforming your smile. 310-785-0770. And remember, whatever happens, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Ortho.
A fun way to drive.
What's up, people? It is Thursday here. We are approximately 9 days away from the Mandy, something like that.
That's right, the 22nd.
The 22nd. They're coming fast, and today is the final day to get your full experience Mandy's 3 tickets for only $49. That includes dinner. That includes cocktails. That includes a special Mandy's 3 T-shirt, plus somebody that is there is going to win opening night tickets for crypto, opening day tickets for SoFi. It's the night when we are officially celebrating. Oh, they're celebrating us, Mason and Ireland 20th anniversary. Is that going to happen at the Mandy's?
Yes, it should be.
Oh, very nice.
It's a big year for you.
Get up on stage somehow. Get your tickets now at ESPNLA.com. Mandy's 3, Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino. Have you been to the Mandy's, Brian?
Yeah, last year.
You were here
Yeah,
last year.
last
Okay,
year, yeah.
that's right. That's why I met Allison. Yeah, I mean, I think Ireland will go to the stage twice. He will win best play-by-play and most knowledgeable. I will hopefully go up to the stage for show of the year.
Well, then we would all go up for show of the year.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, but I mean, at least I'll get onto
Yeah.
the stage. Otherwise, I might not even get
Not
onto
going
the
by
stage.
yourself for
They
show
don't
of the
give me awards around here.
You'll present an award probably.
Oh yeah, I'll present one. Sure.
Yeah, that's
So
the
I'll
only
get
way
up to
I'm
that.
getting up there.
Yeah. No, you got a shot to win most hated.
I think shot. I would love it, But I think of a shot. I don't think I win it, though.
Don't
I think Morales
underestimate how much people hate you.
I know.
Berman.
I'm trying not
Seriously.
to be honest with you. But I think Morales has that one locked up.
By the way, if you want your Mandy's tickets, go to ESPNLA.com and you can get them there. All right, so this was the week that Dan Hurley turned down the Los Angeles Lakers. 6 years, $70 million was the number. And Dan Lebitard had Dan Hurley on his show. Was this today? Was this?
Yes.
It was
Yeah,
today.
He's done a few shows today.
Okay, so here is Dan Hurley and just a little bit of a nugget from that conversation.
I mean, yeah, to leave all that behind, there probably is a number. I don't know what that is.
There probably is a number. There probably
Well,
is
you know
a
what
number.
I believe. I believe everybody has a number.
I know you do.
Yeah.
But the question is, if the Lakers envision this as being the guy that would guide the franchise through the rest of this decade, it struck me when it happened. It wasn't like you always talk about the Godfather. It wasn't a Godfather offer. It's like we'll make you the fifth highest paid or sixth highest paid coach in the league. I think if he had taken that deal, did the Lakers cheap out on this?
Bill Simmons has a theory. I was listening to a podcast of him today, and his theory was that Hurley, and this is Bill's theory. It's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
The Lakers didn't really want Hurley, according to Bill.
What?
That if they did, they would have given him that Godfather
They didn't.
offer you're
Well, then why
talking
make
about.
the offer if he's potentially going to say yes?
According to Bill, he said it was to set it up for the next guy. It's they're saying, well, if Dan Hurley turned down 70, then the next guy you only have to pay 50.
He's taking a shot at the Lakers by saying that.
Right? No, but he's saying that
He's saying the
Lakers had a
are
was
trying to
part
get
of a
cheaper?
was part of a bigger plan. That
it was to get Dan Hurley to say no?
Not to say no, but that they didn't care that he said no. That they were like, okay, this is what it would be worth to us to have Dan Hurley coach us, and if he says no, we just let him walk.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If that's what's going on there, that's just nuts.
I mean, it's
Bill Simmons'
it's a
theory.
Bill Simmons
And
theory. Bill Simmons hates the Lakers.
He's great. He hates the Lakers, but I just can't believe that the Lakers would make an offer thinking we hope he turns it down. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, there's a difference between that and at a certain price, they were willing to let him do it.
Right, but they were willing to make him the highest paid coach in the history of the Los Angeles Lakers.
But
that's how far they were willing to go.
But you said, depends how you want to spin it. You said it before. He'd be the sixth highest paid coach in the league.
Correct. So you don't. But I refuse to believe that the Lakers made this offer hoping that Dan Hurley would turn it down.
Yeah, that's pretty much nonsense.
That's nutty.
I'm not listening to Bill Simmons, who is a Celtics fan and a Clippers fan and absolutely despises the Lakers.
He's probably in all of his
it's another
glory
way
right now
for
after
him
last night
to be able to say, "Hey, the Lakers are cheap and they want to go cheaper."
Yeah, that's not what he was saying.
I got a phone call for Bill Simmons.
Boston.
That's right.
But even this, what he's saying is basically Mace that if they would have given me more money,
Right.
I was going
That
to
is
go.
He had a number. He had a number.
And it wasn't close then.
And by the way, there was speculation over the weekend that the number might be in the $100 million range.
I heard that too.
I mean, multiple people, $100 million, and they came in at 70. And they could have gone higher and hit Dan Hurley's number, whatever that is.
So with that leak of it being 100, you have to think that, I have to give somewhere close to that, so at least have a negotiation. You don't have to go to the full 100.
Right.
But with the 70, he just probably went back and said, yeah, I'm not doing it for 70.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to negotiate with you.
Can you imagine? I'm not doing it for $70 million. For $70
I'll
million,
do it.
I'm not.
It
For
wasn't
$70
enough to
million?
leave. It wasn't enough to leave.
keep your $70 million. I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah, it's a good way to just kind of discount him. But either way, they should have given him more if that was their guy.
Yeah, it is interesting. John's theory is that everybody's got a number. I don't necessarily know that that's true, but apparently it was true with Dan Hurley.
100% it was.
All right, I want to get into another angle on this, the Lakers and the front office, and one of the reasons why the Lakers head coaching job is so difficult. We'll do that coming up. Also, we'll spin the wheel of questions. Sports graffiti is coming up for you, too. In the meantime, I love Commerce Casino. Obviously, we're all going to be at Commerce for Mandy's 3 a week from Saturday. But on top of that, it is the biggest and best poker room in the world with the best poker action in Southern California. There is always a seat for you at the Commerce, maybe even next to me. I play there pretty regular, man. Poker action never ends at Commerce, which is why this year alone, the Commerce Casino is going to pay out over $20 million in jackpots. And don't sleep on the great food at Commerce, their professional and friendly staff, beautiful hotel rooms, daily tournaments, all of that at the Commerce Casino and Hotel. And, of course, Mandy's 3 next week. Commerce Casino located 6131 Telegraph Road in Commerce. For more information and a calendar of events, visit commercecasino.com. That's commercecasino.com, and I will see you at the Commerce. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
PM. You know what it's time for?
What is this?
It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
Interesting. Okay. It landed on this one.
Okay.
All right. A Bliss restaurant, a recently opened Caribbean restaurant in Missouri, announced an interesting policy. The eatery revealed that it has an age restriction for entry, so you can dine. Women must be 30 years or older, and men must be 35 or older to dine. Their Facebook page strictly says this is for grown and sexy, so we're keeping it classy. Do you guys support restaurants having an age restriction, or do you believe it will backfire on the restaurant?
I understand, for example, the no kids thing. Like I'm not a dad, but I understand some restaurants want an adult environment or a fancy environment. I just got a wedding invitation from Melanie and Kamal. By the way, Ireland, we sent them a wedding gift.
Okay.
But they have a request for no kids at the wedding. So I understand that. I don't understand the 30 and the 35. Like, how did they decide you've got to be 35 to eat here?
So basically, it's because they say that people under 30 are a little bit more rowdy and don't spend as much. So they want people that are going to be able to, dish out, because they have like oxtails and their menu is a little bit pricier.
I'm not even sure if this one's legal.
That's where I went.
Is it legal? Do you have to present your ID to prove you're 35 to eat dinner at this restaurant? I'm not sure that that's legal. Is it? I guess you can make your own
If
policies.
it's a private club, yeah.
Yeah,
then
it's a
you can make
restaurant.
any rules you
Although
want.
it's a public restaurant.
It's a restaurant.
Right, but how many restaurants have you been to where it says we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone? So
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I think they can get away with it.
Brian, you're not allowed at this restaurant.
No, you can't even
too
go.
young.
Yeah, too young. Too young to eat.
I think you'll live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's an interesting story. I don't quite understand. They're limiting their possible customer base, which I don't understand. I would take every single penny that somebody wants to give me if I owned a restaurant. So I would not have an age restriction, and I don't quite understand this one.
Christian wouldn't be allowed to eat there.
Oh, Christian couldn't. Would you be allowed to eat there?
Yeah, I'm over 30.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's not over 35.
I don't know people's ages around here.
Oh, I don't care. I always say my age.
Good.
But, yeah.
You're not Pepe Mantilla.
Pepe Mantilla is the only one that will not share his age.
We saw a picture of him yesterday, right, Greg? That we were like...
With the goatee?
With the whole...
With Jerry West?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he looks so young in that picture.
Yeah.
He looks evil in that picture.
Somebody swears he's 78.
Beto.
Beto.
I thought it was 86.
No,
Beto
78.
says he's 78.
78. Which sounds credible-ish.
And by the way, it would have been very easy for him to deny that, and he didn't.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So,
he didn't deny
I think
it.
it's probably accurate.
You can say, are you 35? And he'd be like, I don't know.
I don't know.
He didn't deny anything.
Exactly. All right, here we go. John, we talked about Dan Hurley a little bit and whether there was a number, and it sounds like there was, that the Lakers could have landed him. I want to read you some stuff that I found about the Lakers front office and organization. And I want you and especially Greg to react to this.
Okay.
This is Eric Pincus, who has covered the league for a long time. He says, quote, "The general opinion around the league is that the Lakers have a very frugal front office. The Clippers spare no expense with a massive staff, but the Lakers' sparse front office lacks common features such as a pro personnel department. Outside of the scouting department for the draft, LA doesn't have scouts spread throughout the league watching NBA talent on a nightly basis in person like other franchises." I'll ask you, is that true? Do they not have eyes on scouting around the league like other teams do?
They have scouts, but here's the thing, and Eric just fell into the trap too. I don't understand journalists, in this case Eric Pincus, they beat this drum all the time, trying to say that the Clippers are better run than the Lakers. The Clippers have never won anything.
Right.
Anything. And yet these guys get held up as a model franchise. The year the Lakers won the bubble title in 2020 was the year Kobe died. And Rob, I thought Rob was taking a leave of absence. He didn't.
Right.
Because, he was Gigi's godfather and Kobe's best friend. He leads the Lakers to the bubble title.
Right.
He gets one vote for executive of the year. They gave it to the guy from the Clippers, and the Clippers got, blew a 3 lead anyway.
Right.
Why just give me your opinion on this. Why do people continue around the league to use the Clippers as an example of a well-run team when the goal is to win.
Right. The goal is to win. The point is to give somebody the resources to be able to be successful. The Clippers have layers and layers of management.
Right, but you just said it. The resources to be successful.
Right.
When have they been successful?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. The question isn't who's been more successful. The question is if you're a head coach.
Yeah.
And you look at, and this is part of what Dan Hurley looked under the hood of the Lakers organization and said, nah, that's not the car I want to be driving.
Okay, which is fine. It's his choice.
Yeah.
But here's my point. Lift the hood on the Clippers, okay? You have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard who don't play.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard's the worst leader in the NBA because he doesn't talk. And yet, why are they cited, in this case, Eric did it, why are they continuously cited as an example of a well-run franchise? If you want to tell me Oklahoma City or Boston or, the Warriors, and use those, what's with the Clippers?
But tackle this sentence. Clippers spare no expense with a massive staff. Lakers' sparse front office lacks common features such as pro personnel department.
Okay. So,
is that fact?
I don't know.
The Clippers certainly have a more robust front office. Even if you just Google it, they've got so many people.
What has it gotten them?
Well, no, that's not the question. If you're a coach,
no, of course,
if you're a coach and you're looking at a job,
right?
Do you want to work at the place that's got all the scouts and all the analytics and all the people and all the layers and all the smart guys, or do you want to work in a spot where you don't have as many resources? That's ultimately the question.
I have zero problem saying this. If you offered me the Lakers job and the Clippers job for exactly the same money, so I'm basing it on where I'm going, I'm taking the Lakers job 10 out of 10 times.
Right.
You really want to coach the Clippers where your two best players don't play and they've made it to the finals 0 times. 0. Never been to the finals. Why are the Clippers cited as an example of a well-run franchise?
They are not cited in that way. They are cited as a team that spares no expense and has a massive staff. That is,
and what has it gotten them?
That is his point. It has nothing to do with wins, losses, whatever. Clippers, Lakers.
I would argue that Eric is making my point, that they spare no expense. They will hire any layer. You want a job at the Clippers?
They will spare no expense. That is correct.
Hired.
They're loaded.
They hired Lee Jenkins and made up some job for him, and he's been there for 5 years, and we love Lee.
Yeah.
I still don't know what he does.
Yeah.
I think they call him Director of Culture.
Okay.
Okay. They don't win.
Right. But what they are is they're like... Are they like the Dodgers with layers and layers of management?
But the Dodgers win.
Well, they don't win at all. They won in 2020, but they don't win at all.
But they've been to the World Series 3 times.
Yeah.
In the last, 6 years?
Right.
The Clippers have never been.
Right. But
Ever.
But if you get down to brass tacks, the Clippers have a bigger, more robust organization than the Lakers do.
And my question...
Eliminate the question. Is that true? Just yes or no, is that true?
The
Clippers have a more robust staff, front office, than the Lakers have.
I don't know what those guys at the Clippers do.
Well, I mean, obviously, you collect all the smart guys. This is what Andrew Friedman does. You collect all the smart guys.
But
Nothing
Andrew Friedman
yet.
wins.
Nothing yet. The question is, in this league where resources like that are uncapped, can the Lakers be competitive? And I want to, before you jump on that, let me just read something. This is from Anthony Irwin. Regardless, one major takeaway from how this played out is a hit to the Lakers' reputation in coaching circles. Sources say the Lakers are seen as a skeleton crew that does not provide its coaches with enough resources.
If that's true, I can see why they're having a problem finding a coach. But the Lakers win, and most other franchises don't. The Lakers and the Celtics are light years ahead of every other team in terms of conference finals appearances. LeBron wouldn't play for the Clippers. He just wouldn't.
No.
But you say the Clippers are the model organization.
Don't put words in my mouth.
You just tried to make that argument.
Look, you can make an argument without the Clippers do have a bigger front office than the Lakers. Period. End of story. Fact.
So if that's period, end of story, fact, why does LeBron refuse to play for the Clippers? And
no clue why LeBron or if LeBron or anything.
Right.
Do you have first-person knowledge that LeBron has said, I will not play for the Clippers?
Yes.
LeBron has said publicly, I will not play for the Clippers.
I don't know if it's publicly, but someone very close to him has said it to me.
So privately, you are saying LeBron says
he won't go to the Clippers.
That he will not go to the Clippers. Well, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't know why he would. But the question is, who's got a more robust front office? And there's no question that the Clippers do.
I would question all of that.
Just Google it. Look at the number of people that work at each
Greg,
place. One has a lot of people and one does not.
Greg, what do you think here? The Clippers, Mason's point is the Clippers will hire anybody and spare no expense and get a staff of 30.
That is true.
And what good does
they'll
that
build
do?
their own building. They'll build a stadium, all that stuff.
And what do they get for it?
You both are saying the right things. The Lakers is a better franchise overall.
Of course.
What Mason is saying is that they have Steve Ballmer, you say it all the time. Why is Ty Lue not going to go somewhere else? Because Steve Ballmer will just open up his paycheck and give him whatever he wants to make sure he has the best coach that's out there to be the coach of the Clippers. That's what the point is. So I see what Mason's talking about, and he's actually right in that sense, and so is Eric Pincus. The Lakers are saying that we'll give you 6 years for $70 million when Steve Ballmer would have given him $100 million.
Yeah, take the Ty Lue.
Right.
The Lakers wouldn't add the year to Ty Lue's deal, I assume, because they didn't want to have to buy him out after they fired him.
I was told, first of all, I was told it was 2 years. Ty was looking for 5. They offered him 3.
So they only offered him 3 years?
They did. But I was told the sticking point was assistance. And I'm curious what you think about this. On one hand, I think, personally, it's important for the Lakers to have some experience on the bench, preferably somebody who's been a head coach before, especially if they hire a guy like JJ Redick.
Right.
On the other hand, the reason Ty Lue walked away is they told him, we want to give you guys on your bench like Lionel Hollins, like Frank Vogel, who have been experienced NBA head coaches. We want to build this council of elders. And Ty Lue said, I'm not coming unless I can pick my own assistants. And so that was the rub.
But on top of that, coaches don't sign for 3 years. They're three. I mean, are there 3-year deals for coaches, or are they mostly 4 or 5? I think they're mostly 4 or 5 year deals around the league.
You ducked the question,
which is,
should the coach just no questions asked, be able to pick his own assistants, or should the team be able to say, no, we want a guy with?
Well, I think it's
ridiculous
and stupid and wrong-headed for the Lakers to try to shove coaches down Ty Lue's throat.
So you are okay with having no veteran assistants on the bench?
I am okay with the head coach who you are entrusting the franchise to.
In this case, JJ Redick. If they hire JJ Redick, he should be able to hire his own assistants, and the Lakers have no say.
JJ Redick is in a different category because he's down one championship to Ty Lue. Ty Lue had already won a championship. Ty Lue, as a champion, should be able to pick his own assistants. I'm not saying that's the case with JJ Redick, who's coming straight from a set.
What if that's the deal breaker?
What if JJ
says, I'm coming, but I'm picking my own assistants, and the Lakers say, no, you've never been a head coach. We're going to put guys like Scott Brooks or J.B. Bickerstaff or somebody that's been a head coach, so you have somebody there. JJ says, if I can't pick my assistants, I'm not coming.
Who's to say that JJ wouldn't take former head coaches, though? Why would he would, if he wants to choose his own guys, he chooses former head coaches.
What I'm trying to get to is it an absolute thing that whoever you hire as the head coach should be able to pick his own assistants?
Well, I think so.
I personally...
So if JJ...
Autonomy. You should have absolute autonomy
So
as
if
the head
JJ
coach.
Redick was... Here's what happened with Darvin. Darvin hired all of his friends.
Right.
Okay? Here's what happened with Luke. Luke hired all of his friends.
Well, those are terrible moves by Darvin and
but
Luke.
What you're saying is Greg just said he wants to give it to Redick.
Right.
Let Redick hire whoever he wants. Autonomy. Why? It doesn't work.
Well, in the case of JJ Redick, I'm not sure that it necessarily works because JJ Redick literally is going to take a headset off and wind up on an NBA bench, potentially. We don't know that to be the case. But, so I put that in a different category than Ty Lue. You won a championship, but we're going to tell you who your coaches are going to be, and we're only going to give you a 3-year contract. They cheaped out on Ty Lue.
I agree with that, but what the question is, what should they do now?
Correct.
If they are hiring JJ Redick, do you give him the right to hire his own assistants? No questions asked.
I would imagine that's a collaboration.
But
would you not?
So
you're saying that's not a choice.
There's no room to collaborate.
Either Rob
here.
picks all the coaches or JJ picks all the coaches.
Either the Lakers can tell him we're putting veteran assistants who have head coaching experience on your bench.
Right.
Or you get to pick them all.
What if JJ naturally wants to bring in his own former whatever coach he's clicked with over the years, who happens to have been a head coach?
Well, but was it totally JJ's decision? That's what I'm trying to get to. Would you give him carte blanche to pick all his assistants, or would you insist that you have a say?
I think a head coach has got to have say.
Well, the last 3 coaches they've had brought in all their friends.
Well, those are terrible coaches then.
But I'm saying, why would you let that happen again?
You're saying Darvin just brought in his coaches. He didn't hire the best people. Luke didn't hire the best people. He just brought in friends.
Correct. He brought in people he could trust.
Well, these are terrible coaches. Why didn't somebody stop the Darvin thing when it happened?
Wait a minute. You just said you would let JJ do it.
I would let JJ do it,
so there you go. You're letting JJ do what Darvin and Luke did. Right?
Well, I would hope JJ's smarter than to just bring in his buddies like Darvin and Ham did,
but you just gave
like
him,
Luke Walton did.
Con.
This is the first time I've ever heard that Darvin and Luke just brought in friends and not necessarily the best coaches for their coaching staff. That's nuts.
Isn't there a middle ground in here somewhere?
Of course there is.
There's
like
a conversation.
Hey, Rob, how do you feel about Scott Brooks? Rob, how do you feel about James Borrego?
Right.
There is a conversation
one or the other.
Well, it sure does. When push comes to shove, do I get to hire my own assistants or do you? You're Rob Pelinka. I'm JJ Redick. Do I get to hire my assistants or do you?
What does LeBron want?
According to Rob Pelinka, how you're putting it, I would say no. It's my decision.
Okay.
I'm deciding who is going to.
Yeah, I don't think
that you can't do it that way.
Right. If you were going to shove coaches down Ty Lue's throat, you're certainly going to try to shove coaches down JJ Redick's throat because he hasn't done it before. So I would imagine that could be the deal breaker for JJ. JJ must. He could potentially say, of all the jobs in all the world, this might be the one that I last the least amount of time in, so I'm going to wait for another gig. And if that's the case, then he's not the right guy for the job.
Yeah, I don't think it's a fait accompli that it's J.J. Redick.
No, it's clearly not. I mean, Woj says if he has a good interview, he could be in the forefront.
Yeah, I think I think it's possible, definitely, but I don't think it's a lock.
All right, we're going to do some sports graffiti. We've tackled a bunch of stuff here in the first hour. 877-710-ESPN. Now, if you don't know how sports graffiti works, Greg is going to say, "What's your name?" You're going to give him the name. Then, when we bring you on the air, you're going to get 15 to 20 seconds of free air time. I'll say, "Joe, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Joe." Then start talking. Don't say how you doing. Nothing like that. Just get straight to your point. 877-710-ESPN. Sports Graffiti is next. 710 ESPN.
All right, time to talk about ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, it can take up to 11 weeks on average to hire for an open job. You don't have that kind of time. You can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. If you're hiring, Ian Siegel, the guy who invented ZipRecruiter, says they don't leave anything to chance. And here's what he's talking about. They use matching technology. It's an algorithm to quickly find and send you the most qualified people for your roles. So if you want quick decisions made, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. 4 out of 5. So speed up your hiring process. Try that web address for free. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
It's Evan Cohen, Unsportsmanlike.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
All right, sports graffiti time. By the way, Momo is going to join us coming up. Do we get her and line her up? Excellent. We've got her coming up for you. Watch Clipped.
So good.
Episode 3, excellent. It is out, and it is on Hulu. We'll talk to her a little bit about that and also give her thoughts on the passing of Jerry West and on last night's Game 3, the Boston Celtics on the verge.
I think she went to that game in Dallas.
She's down in Dallas, yeah. So we'll get her coming up. In the meantime, going to do some sports graffiti. Anything is fair game here. Lakers, Dodgers, anything about the Mandys, all that stuff is totally fair game. Let's go to Danny. Danny, you're on sports graffiti. Go, Danny.
Frank Vogel. Bring him back if he's not coaching.
Yeah, Danny, I'm with you. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's unlikely.
But I would welcome it.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
I'm
a big Frank Vogel guy.
I don't think there was a big movement to push Frank Vogel out. I think that him coming back would make sense. I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm with you.
Let's go to Ed. Ed, you're on sports graffiti. Go, Ed.
What's up, guys? It's Ed Hart. Hey, John, you probably can't answer this because you work for the team.
Yeah.
But as you travel around the league and you see all these guys, you've seen every coach, you've seen the assistants, what would be or who would be the prototypical guy that you would hire? Maybe a name that we're not talking about. You know, I know you like Vogel. I do, too.
Yeah.
I liked the Hurley hire. Mason, I'm not sure why you'd rather get a JJ Redick, who's never coached, over a guy who's had success coaching even at the collegiate level. But I get the NBA experience thing, but I'd love to see it. Is there a name you guys have kicked around there that we're not really talking about?
Okay.
That's a good question. Mace isn't as high on this idea, but I like the idea of Jay Wright. I think he's a smart guy.
Yeah, again, I don't like that jump from college to NBA.
Well, the thing about Jay Wright is, though, he's been at USA Basketball for about 10 years.
True.
So he's working for Steve Kerr now.
Yep.
And so I think he kind of comes from a different mold. But if you did that, going back to what we were talking about last segment, I think if you try somebody who's never been an NBA head coach, you need to insist on having other past NBA head coaches on the bench. And
by the way, and we don't know that that's not what JJ Redick would do.
If I was JJ, I'd want that.
Oh, yeah, me too.
So let's see. Maybe
I want
you would.
somebody who's been there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go to David. David, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, David.
Hey, this question's for John.
Okay.
Would he rather have the Clippers over Lakers right now, or the current ownership group run the Lakers right now? Thanks.
Well, the Clippers, I think Steve Ballmer brings a unique set of skills in that he is richer than 27 other owners.
Yes.
But he hasn't proven yet that he knows what he's doing, and he can win. The Lakers have. So I have no problem saying this. It sounds like that a lot of you guys would rather root for the Clippers, and that's your right.
That's not right. You're mischaracterizing that entirely.
What are you talking about? I didn't say you.
You just said rooting for the Clippers. I don't think anybody's rooting for the Clippers.
I think the argument that Eric Pincus is trying to make, that the Clippers are a better organization than the Lakers, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
I do. I think that the Lakers are much more cash-strapped than the Clippers would be, and I do think they've got a more robust front office. That doesn't mean I'd want to work for the Clippers. Let's go to Laker Dan. Lakers in his name. Laker Dan, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
This is Laker Dan, Mandy Awards, Listener of the Year, Mandy Awards, Caller of the Year, and I just got the biggest endorsement here. Let me handle the phone. Oh, boy, it's me. No, don't say your name. Don't say your name. I am voting for Laker Dan.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
he did an entire...
That was like a performance.
It was like a vignette.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Thomas. Thomas, you're on Sports Graffiti. Thomas, are you going to do us a little play, a little show, or are you just going to be a normal caller?
Normal caller. I'm just going to say that Jeannie Buss is the worst owner in the NBA right now.
Okay. That's
that's interesting.
Yeah.
The Lake, as much as the Lakers have won, so now we've dropped to number 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go to John, and you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, John.
You know, I was going to say, I have to definitely rebut that. Come on now. Jeannie Buss, is he kidding? What is he talking about? Does he realize Jeannie Buss is one of the better owners? I mean, come on. She's doing the best she can. We got to look at Rob Pelinka, okay? He's the one choosing the pieces here. So that's the guy we need to reflect on. But what this finals is teaching us is that there's no longer a need for a third star. Boston is 8 deep. Did you see their 3 guys off the bench? Tillman, Pritchard, and Hauser? Unbelievable.
Yep.
All 3 of those guys could start for the Lakers.
Yeah,
So we need a deep team. No third star. We need 8 guys that can play 2 ways, offensively and defensively.
This is a great call,
I think Boston, to his point, I think Boston won the title when they went out and got Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. I think it literally won them the title.
Right.
And any team could have gone out and got those guys, including the Clippers, including the Lakers. Boston did.
Let me actually, we'll hold that because I think that's a really interesting conversation about the supporting cast versus the third star. Let's go to Victor. Victor, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Victor.
Yeah, I called a couple weeks ago. I broke down in Whittier. I'm calling today from Alhambra. I just want to say, go Cincinnati Reds, go Rams, and boo Raiders and boo Dodgers, and Black Sabbath and Slayer kick ass.
Okay, there you
That
go.
was all over the map.
So that's a very
He likes
odd
the
shopping list.
Cincinnati Reds.
Yep.
He likes Slayer. He likes Black Sabbath.
Reds.
Does not like the Raiders.
Does not like the Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Covered a lot of
never
ground
coming
there.
on.
Got a little menu there. Of
Yeah.
things here's what I
Got
like.
a lot
and
into
here's
his
what I don't
15
like.
seconds there.
Yeah, very weird.
Strange call.
All right, let's do one last one. Oh, look who it is. It's Frankie D. Fresh. Frankie D. Fresh, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
What it do, babies? It's your boy Frankie D. Fresh. This is the fan caller of the year. That other guy, Faker Dev, is smoking something else.
Yep.
So vote for me for the Mannies. Also, I'm tired of this Hurley talk. It's making me want to hurl. We all know it's all a story by JJ Redick to get the media off of his back. But I'm all in for Frank.
Okay. There's another vote for Frank Vogel.
It's not. It's
No,
not
it's
in the
really
cards,
hard.
is it? As much as I would like it, it's not in the cards.
It would be weird to go back.
Well, they went back to Phil, but Phil
They
won
did.
titles. Well, Frank won a title.
won a title.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be impossible.
No, not impossible. I think
Unlikely,
unlikely.
though.
I've not heard any connection
Me too. Me
on,
either.
on Frank at all.
And I've mentioned it to a couple of guys who are like beat writers who cover the team, and they say, not happening.
Yeah. All right.
Unfortunately.
We are going to go live to Dallas next. Momo is there. We'll talk to her about the passing of Jerry West and her thoughts. We'll talk to her about last night's Game 3. We'll talk to her about Clipped. Episode 3 is out now on Hulu. All that stuff coming up for you. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Okay, time to talk about Toyota and the Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota, year after year, delivers quality, reliability, and simply the best vehicles on the road. Right now, they have brand new inventory waiting for you. Choose from an amazing selection of cars, trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and EVs. Great deals waiting for you now. All you got to do is see your Southern California Toyota dealers or visit Toyota.com. Toyota, we make it easy.
And here we go. This is your cue to call on a Ticket Thursday. Caller number 7 right now at 877-710-ESPN. You win a pair of tickets to see the legend, David Gilmour. Ireland on 710 ESPN. Don't get it twisted, yo. The most downloaded sports radio show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Mason and Ireland, the #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. And we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
Finally happened, Ireland. So I'm over there at the gym with the great Steve Zim.
That's your trainer. Yeah.
And we're doing my least favorite exercise, which is lunges. And I suffered an injury.
What'd you do?
I have a strained hip flexor.
That's no good.
No, it's not.
So are you gonna go lay low for a few days?
No, I'm going upper body.
Okay.
I'm going upper body now.
Yeah, leg day. You can skip leg day.
Yeah, leg day was yesterday, man. I got crushed. I got crushed on leg day. No, they say never skip leg day.
Yeah, I know, but you're not competing for Mr. Olympia. Skip leg day.
Who says? Hey, congratulations to Vu Lai from Arcadia. He was calling number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. He won some pair of tickets to go to the Hollywood Bowl Tuesday, October 29, to see David Gilmour. Keep listening all day long for your chance to win on a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN.
He's got it.
Getting moment. All right, excellent. Yeah. Joining us right now is the executive producer of Clipped, the ace ESPN reporter at the finals, the great Ramona Shelburne. Momo, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Everything's good.
Do you feel like you made a trip to Texas for basically a depression funeral type thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's they should have won last night. I mean, the Mavs should have won. They had the game and they just kept blowing it, and it's but I think it kind of comes down to like one team is ready to win and one team isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels like the Celtics have been there and they've been doing so much the last 6-7 years, and they've made all these mistakes. And now Dallas is the first time that they're making these mistakes, right?
Right.
So I think that's really what this whole series feels like so far.
Ramona, Luka is a wonderful player. He's a top 10 player in the NBA right now. I think he is dangerously close to ruining his reputation because all he does is whine. And I thought last night was really selfish. He had 4 fouls, and the last 2 fouls he committed were just stupid.
Well, number 5 was, I don't know if number 5 was really a foul. Number 6 was just stupid.
And so, Ramona, is there anyone there that Luka will listen to and to keep from making these mistakes? Because if he continues to act like that, I don't think they can get over the hump.
Jason Kidd's been telling him this since he got here to Dallas, right? Like Jason tells these guys the truth. Like, that's why they like him. That's why he bonded with LeBron and Anthony Davis the year he was in LA, and why he and Luka have gotten along, and with Kyrie. But this one issue has not gone away, right? This whining to the refs and flat out playing defense and getting in shape and being in, all the things that he has to do are not surprises. Like, this has been the message to him for 2-3 years since Jason's gotten here. And I think you have to learn it yourself. It's got to come from within. I mean, I think all the greats had go through this. So with Magic, it was shooting. With LeBron, it was shooting, right? Like, the Spurs wouldn't even guard him. Remember that? The first couple finals they had.
Right.
And I think the same thing with, Michael Jordan. The Pistons used to beat him up. They used to have to do all that. So I think Luka is just going to have to fail before he changes. Sometimes you need that feedback of failure to move forward, right? And that's really where he's at.
All right, Ramona Shelburne is with us. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. We were just kicking around a quote, Momo, and I want to get your reaction to it. This is from Eric Pincus. Eric. He says, the general opinion around the league is that the Lakers have a very frugal front office. The Clippers spare no expense with massive staff, but the Lakers' sparse front office lacks common features such as a pro personnel department. Outside of the scouting department for the draft, LA doesn't have scouts spread throughout the league watching NBA talent on a nightly basis in person like other franchises. Is he right?
In some ways, yes. I would agree that they don't have the same level of staffing that other teams do. But I don't know if I agree on the cause. I don't know that it's penny pinching or that they're cheap. I really think that Pelinka likes to be a lone wolf. I mean, that's his style. When he was an agent, he didn't join he left a big agency and started his own. And he didn't have tons of people working for him. He had 2 or 3 people, and that's it. And it's like, I just think this is his style. And so, and also, this is also more of how the Lakers have always done it. Plus, let's be real, I think the Lakers have drafted pretty well.
Yeah, they've been really good.
You can point to, I mean, maybe you can point to last year and say they should have taken Pajems.
Yep.
Jaime Jaquez or something. Okay. But I think that Pelinka likes big guards. Like, Pajemski's not his kind of a player, like he likes big guys. He likes the long, rangy guys.
Right. That's why he found Austin Reeves.
Right.
And
so they
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say, what we were discussing was, you can say all that stuff about the Clippers and say that they have the deepest pockets in the league, which they do, and that they have the deepest staff in the league, which they do, but they don't win. And Ramona, right now, I would rather have a team built around Anthony Davis and LeBron than I would around Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, because I can't count on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And so,
I agree with
I mean, while Eric's point's accurate, the quote read, the Clippers do have more staff, more positions. It's not like it's helping them. I'd still go to, if I had the choice between the Laker job and the Clipper job, and it paid me the exact same amount of money, I'm going with the Heritage franchise. I'm going with the Lakers. I don't want to work for the Clippers unless I have to. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, look, in terms of future assets and the future, I mean, the Clippers are still kind of digging out from the Paul George trade. They still owe so many picks to Oklahoma City and stuff. It's harder for them to operate with the guys they have, and those guys are older and now more expensive. Okay, so like Kawhi's older, more expensive. Paul George, free agent, older, more expensive now. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, like all the team, the core, they've got another couple years to try to win with, but it's harder and harder to win when you have that older core. You know who they kind of remind me of now is, like, remember that Brooklyn Nets team when they traded for all the Celtics
guys?
They
had KG and Paul George and all those guys.
Yeah.
Or not Paul George,
Paul Pierce,
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce, yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's kind of like they almost feel like that to me right now. And so, look, you can take a swing at the Lakers if you want for not having as much staff as other teams. That's true. Other teams around the league have more guys and more people, but I do think it's easy to just ascribe that to money, because Steve Ballmer wakes up with another billion under the
it's
table
in his couch
day.
cushions.
Yeah, Microsoft is up again. Yep.
Yep. But I really think it is sort of a personal style from Pelinka and the way he wants to run things.
All right, so let's talk about Clipped, because we've been waiting to talk to you about Clipped ever since we went to the premiere. And so for people who don't know, we've talked about this, and Mason and I both went out to Ramona's parents' house over the weekend and for the service for your dad. And I hope you and your mom are doing better. It's kind of it was weird, because you and I talked about this. Your professional life was at its highest and your personal life was at its lowest, all at the exact same time. But now, now we can move. We can talk about Clip. Ramona, it's so good. It is so good. I don't even know where to start, other than to say I'm not.
The woman who called me to make it, the producer, she's a lady by the name of Nina Jacobson. She's literally the person who did People versus OJ.
Right.
Like she's literally the same producer, and they did the murder.
Look at and by the way, Momo, look at what those two projects have in common. If you go back to the People versus OJ, the thing that nailed it was the casting, the Sarah Paulson, the Sterling K. Brown. Even Travolta was good.
Right.
It was and they did it again with Clipped. I think that's the heart of the show to me, is that I forget when I'm watching Jackie Weaver that I'm not watching Shelley Sterling, and I knew Shelley and met her, and you did too.
Yeah.
But these people, especially Ed O'Neill and Lawrence Fishburne, who admitted to you that they aren't huge sports fans, the way they are channeling Doc and Donald Sterling to me is stunning, isn't it?
It's pretty amazing. Like I know all the real people, right? So it's crazy to me to like see these people portray them, but I've been able to see it all the way along, right? Like I went to a table read a year and a half ago, and the first time I heard Ed O'Neill do Donald, I was like, whoa, okay,
you knew,
he's good. Yeah, and you know the one I loved was the lady who plays Deja in the show, Ivana.
Yeah.
There's two friends in the show that are like composite characters of real people. So Shelley's friend was played by Harriet Sansom Harris.
She's great too.
She's so great. Shelley had like 3 or 4 friends at the time that she was meeting with and talking to, and I know some of them. And so it's not a real person; it's a composite of 3 or 4 people. But Harriet is so good in that role. It's unbelievable. And then she plays Justine, and then Ivana. Like when she came on as Deja and started even on the table read, I was like, whoa! I love this lady. And so those are the ones that like got me excited because they were the people who are almost not real people, the composite characters, but they just bring it to life. And like yesterday, I talked to Pierce O'Donnell, the real Pierce O'Donnell,
right,
who's being played by Corbin Burnson.
Yeah.
Show, and I go, right, and he goes, oh, it's so good, I love it. Like, I mean, it's just got to be really flattering for him to have a guy like Corbin Burnson play him.
So let me ask you this, Momo, because this is what I've been dying to know.
Yeah.
Have you heard from any of the principal people? Like, has somebody reached out from Donald Sterling or from Shelley Sterling, or has V. Stiviano reached out? Any of those people reacting and letting you know that they're watching?
Not yet. I heard from them after the trailer came out. I heard from Shelley and I heard from V, and neither of them were thrilled. V was a little different. I want to let her speak for herself because I actually do think that she will have something to say, and I don't know if she'll say it to me or if she'll just start going on Instagram or if she'll go on somebody else's podcast. I don't know. I do think she will have her say, knowing her and the conversation we had. Shelley, I don't think will talk to anybody. She might answer the phone. I think she's almost 90 now. Donald's 90. They're together. She's taking care of him.
Do you think they sit down and watch it every Tuesday night?
Oh,
I don't know if he does.
Oh, sure they do.
I bet Shelley does.
Shelley does. But Donald probably still says, it's my world.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've been living in their bubble in Malibu. I mean, I'll take this. I went over to Nobu the other day. I had some family in town for the funeral. And, I had family in town who'd flown in from overseas.
Got it.
I said, okay, I got to take you to the beach. And I said, well, while we're here, we should let's go to Nobu. I'll spring for it. Okay. They flew all the way from Israel. Okay. So, I went there and I go, I'm kind of thinking like, I wonder if we're going to see the Sterlings here because that's like their spot,
Well, I'm surprised you didn't see any of the Kardashians. I've only been there. I've been there 3 times ever, and all 3 times the Kardashians were there.
I do have a funny story from last night, though. I was at the game in Dallas. This is my first kind of work trip, since everything.
Sure.
And I'm on the phone with my editor, kind of talking about the post game angle, and I feel a tap on my shoulder, and it's JJ Redick. And I was on the phone, and I've been meaning to talk to him and all that, but also kind of leaving him alone too because he's working. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm on the phone, and he goes, it's okay. He goes, congrats on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Did he mention anything about the Lakers head coaching job while you were talking to him?
No, he's not going to talk about it. I was on the stupid phone. I was trying to hang. I was like, the one where you're like, I really should just drop this phone call and go talk to him, but he walked off, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I'll talk to him when I'm out here. I've been kind of curious. Like, Chris Paul said, I don't think Chris Paul liked it or anything, but I was expecting that because
I'm not sure anybody likes to see themselves
right.
Well, because
in that hyper version of themselves,
and we went through this when Winning Time came out.
Yeah,
the first thing all the people portrayed in Winning Time said was, "Well, that didn't happen that way. That's not exactly right. It's a TV show. They're telling a story.
It's based, on a true story.
So I mean, people that I heard Chris Paul in an interview say, "Well, I never went to the white party." Well, I've seen I went to one, and it happened for sevevel years in a row.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he didn't go to the white party, but he also went to a party where that line about "I love my wife." Why don't you? Like what Sterling says to him, why don't you talk to all the pretty girls here? And he goes, "Because I love my wife." That happened. It just didn't happen at the white party.
Right.
Party. All
right. So
you can quibble with stuff, but it's the details and things get if you want to say conflate. They put the things into scene because they kind of have to, right? But
Right.
The details sometimes get changed.
Well, I also want to encourage people to listen to the companion podcast
Oh, yeah.
that Ramona
You've
does.
got some great guests.
Mason and I were in one of them, but the it's really getting good now because I just listened to the one you did with Cleopatra Coleman, and who's the guy that plays Chris Paul?
J. Alphonse Nicholson, he's
Yeah,
great.
and they were both great. And so Ramona basically does like a 30-minute deep dive after each episode. And it's if you're enjoying Clipped, you'll enjoy the podcast. And I'm just so happy for you because I
Yeah,
know how
that's
much
great.
work you put into this. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
And still, by the way, I was going to say, still, the ceremony I thought was beautiful on Sunday. God bless your dad, Jim, and the garden is beautiful. I mean, I thought it was a beautiful ceremony.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. And we got you both to the valley.
I know.
How about that?
Deep into the valley. That's about as far into the valley as I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, you guys were straight up Kardashian country there.
Yes,
we
were.
Yes,
we were.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Momo, have a great time down there. Congratulations
Thanks,
on the show. Continuing to love it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you. Thanks, guys.
Bye, Momo.
Thanks, Ramona Shelburne. All right, coming up next for you, John. Charles Barkley is looking for a new job, and he's turning to the app that a lot of us use.
Really?
That is coming up for you. In the meantime, hey, sports is full of rivalries. Teams always kick it up a notch in rivalry games, and you know who my friend Jacob's rival is? That's right, the insurance companies. Every day is a rivalry game for Jacob, but that's okay because he's scouted the competition, knows what they're going to try to do. He's able to counteract their attempts to lowball you, and you don't get a penny out of pocket. That's right. Without spending a penny, Jacob is able to get you the settlement that you deserve. He's been doing this for more than 25 years. Experience matters when you're dealing with the insurance companies. Don't take a chance. Call Jacob. Let him continue to beat his rival on your behalf. When you call an attorney, you want one who is respected. Call Jacob. He is the real deal. 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. 844-24-JACOB. Or remember,
accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
CallJacob.com. Make sure you're following Call Jacob on Instagram. Go to @call.jacob for great advices, prizes, and more. And make sure when you call him, tell him Mason and Shadano from 710 ESPN sent you. Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Up next Saturday night at the Commerce Casino.
So what's up, people? Thursday, although Bergman thought it was Friday.
So did
Totally
I.
thought it was
It's a
Friday.
mistake I make all the time. I lose track of it.
Well, that's wishful thinking.
You know what I did
Nothing wrong
yesterday?
with that.
Ireland,
So
after the
disappointing.
show, you know what I did yesterday? I did an appearance on the Two Dudes, One Pod podcast, hosted by Crypto Ray and Casper Villa.
What'd you talk about?
They asked me all kinds of stuff about you, and I gave them the inside scoop on you, and I
How
told them all
awful.
the secret stuff about Ireland.
Good.
They know about Cohen now.
Nice.
Yeah, everybody.
You weren't
All
supposed
right,
to say anything
somebody
about Cohen.
just sent us this. Do you know who this is?
No.
Greg, can you see that? Do you know who that is?
Hold on.
Brian, can you see it?
I can't.
hard
Don't
to
know who
see.
it is, though.
Who is it?
I definitely can't see it.
Do you know who that is?
Is that Janessa?
It's Janessa.
Janessa!
It's her birthday today, and her
Happy
uncle
birthday, Janessa!
sent us a picture of her in her basketball uniform, and she looks great.
That is cool.
And the thing I love, double ankle braces.
Oh, nice.
Gamer.
Yeah.
Gamer.
Isn't she? She's kind of running the show for next week, isn't she?
She absolutely is, and all of our events.
Yeah, she does a great job. Janessa Paredes. And don't forget, today is the final day to get your full experience for Mandy's 3. Last day, people. Now's the time. $49 to get in. Includes dinner, 2 cocktails, very cool Mandy's 3 t-shirt, plus somebody in attendance is going home with opening night tickets for crypto, opening day tickets for SoFi, amazing prizes. It will be a night that we celebrate Mason and Ireland's 20th anniversary. How about that?
Pretty crazy.
And lots of surprises. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now. ESPNLA.com. Promise you a great time next Saturday night. Mandy's 3. And go to ESPNLA.com. All right, so Charles Barkley is maybe, I guess, after one more year, is going to be a free agent. Because the most likely scenario is that TNT, Warner Brothers, all those guys, they lose the NBA.
Correct.
So Barkley, and this has been an ongoing joke, he's got an opt-out apparently in his contract. And here he is talking about looking for another job.
We want Chuck at ESPN, don't we? I think he wants him everywhere. How are the negotiations going? Did you want to get into that now? Or not?
Listen, I wish I had a job next year.
Are you still on LinkedIn?
I'm LinkedIn. I put on my resume, they're like, you never had a real job. I said, that's not my fault.
The great Charles Barkley joining us here.
Yeah, you should go on ZipRecruiter.
So I was laughing because one time I said to Michael, I said, has you or anyone in your family ever had to do a resume? And he said, nope.
Yeah.
Not anybody, not his kids, not his wife, not him. I would imagine Barkley's probably the same way. Let me tell you something about Barkley. Barkley's getting a job 10 seconds after.
And he will be very well compensated.
Yeah, and those guys at Amazon are really smart. I know most of them. They'll go after Charles. He won't come to ESPN because ESPN is too by the book, but he will find a home at either NBC or Amazon, and he'll kill it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just great at this.
And as for LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a pointless exercise.
It's not for
What
you.
is the point of LinkedIn? I don't get it. Are you in LinkedIn?
I am, but I don't use it.
Yeah, what do you...
I mean, like, I don't pay for it, so I'm on, like, the free version of it.
Same.
But I get all these emails every day from LinkedIn.
Me too.
saying,
I get so many
10
emails.
people are looking for you. And then I'll go look at the people, and they're mostly people that work here.
And the big thing apparently is to get a LinkedIn page, right? Is that what you're supposed to do?
I do not have one.
It's not for you. It is for the MCs. They use it. It's for people to connect and in business more so. It's Matt Burke and Jason Roberts
Right,
and
those
Mark
guys.
Cage. They use it. Manny Pavetta uses it really, really
But
well.
I'm
It's not
surprised.
It's not
like,
for you two.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Lauren Lampkin, who runs communications over at the Lakers, anytime she has a job opening, she posts it on LinkedIn.
I was going to say, it is, if you're looking for a job, it is a good place to go see what's open. And also...
And she'll do like a full, she'll type in, like, we're looking for a public relations manager. Here's the salary. Here's the hours. Here's what it is. And anybody.
So when I'm looking for board ops or producers, I will put the link on LinkedIn, and we'll get a ton of people that
Is
want
that
to join.
right,
Yes.
huh?
It's not for you, Mace. You're
Should
not
I not
looking
be
for
on it? Because I do have a page here.
Yeah,
If
but,
you're looking
but
for a
are
job,
you
it's for you.
Are you looking for a job, or are you trying to get someone a job?
Yeah, I'm always looking for a job.
I'm with you, Mace.
No.
We're
Well, you
always
should
trying to
be
get
looking.
paid.
I don't know when your
Oh,
contract.
I should be looking, yeah.
Oh,
I got a year. 1 year.
Trying to go with the Rouse route.
It's like the
instead.
Cappy countdown, the
Right.
Mason countdown.
Oh, what is
1
the
year
countdown?
from right now?
It is about a year, no?
Yeah, when is Cappy's contract up?
It's up at the end of this month.
I thought it was re-signed. No, I've been here.
no.
I've been gone for 2 months.
I think they're
2 weeks.
still
There is nothing
still
there.
at odds
Wait,
in
I
that
need
negotiation. All right, so we're gonna do some What's Up, Fool. Bergman's got stuff. Laura's got stuff. Bryant's got stuff. 3 o'clock. Was Kobe Bryant really potentially going to be a Memphis Grizzly?
I find it hard to believe, but according to Jerry West, it almost happened.
We got that coming up for you in 20 minutes. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
If you've listened to this radio station at any point over the last 10, 15 years, you've heard me talk about Terranea. I used to talk about Terranea before they were even an advertiser, and Mason would say to me, what is the deal with you and Terranea?
Always on Terranea. Now I
then,
get it.
Then I got Mason to go down there. I got Bergman to go down there. I get
life-changing.
Everybody I send to Terranea comes back and says, how did I not know about that sooner? It is simple. Terranea is a luxury resort on the Palos Verdes Peninsula, and it's like going to Hawaii without getting on a plane. It is fantastic. They have 4 great restaurants. They have multiple pools. They have a golf course. You can rent electric bikes. You can do anything down there. And by the way, every time you check in, just go ahead and park your car because you're not going anywhere for as long as you're staying. You can stay 3, 4, 5 days, stay a week. It's the greatest. Check it out today. Terranea.com. Terranea. They have deals going on year-round. It is my favorite vacation spot anywhere in the state of California. Shout out to Ralph Grippo, who runs that place. I've known Ralph for 25 years, and he will not rest until you rest easy at Terranea. Check it out today. Terranea, Terranea.com.
And it is a at 1 p.m. And yes, it's around 2:45 in the Southland. You know what we do each weekday at 2:45. What's up, fool? And we've been very excited that What's Up, Fool is made possible by our friends at Dos Hombres. In fact, we've got a special guest voice. Take it away, guest voice.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
Look at that. How do I follow that? I don't. So I simply say, take it away, Corporate Greg.
Thanks, Morales. All right, so Channing Dungey is the head of Warner Brothers Television, and he was talking to Deadline and was talking about Ted Lasso and how the fact that Ted Lasso, they want more Ted Lasso on Apple. And he says that Jason Sudeikis is open to the idea, but he wants to have the right idea to bring back more Ted Lasso. I thought 3 years was perfect. End it, be done. How do you feel? Do you want more Ted Lasso or less?
I would love more Ted Lasso, but let me make a correction for you. Channing Dungey is a woman.
Oh,
so
okay.
You said
I apologize.
Yeah, it's a she.
I apologize.
And she is the head of Warner Brothers TV, and I love this idea. I thought Ted Lasso was the perfect. It was perfectly timed because it hit during the pandemic when everybody was depressed. And somebody gave me a good way to describe Ted Lasso. It's Andy Griffith in a sports-themed show. You know, it's everybody. There's nothing
Golly
fancy.
G. Mayberry.
Right.
Yeah.
It is, Jim Neighbors and who was the guy that played
Don Knotts.
Well, and they just had all these like super friendly people.
Aunt B.
Right. And then there was one Goober Lindsay, George Goober Lindsay.
That's right, yeah.
And so Ted Lasso had that, and I don't think it would be that hard to recreate. I miss those characters. I hope they do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It was like a perfect television experience. It left us wanting more. There's nothing worse than a show that's really good hanging on for year 7 or year 8.
Come on,
it's like,
you don't want to see more
no,
Roy Kent?
it was perfect. It was perfect as is. I would not do any sequel
Bergman,
to
where are you on
Ted
this?
Lasso.
Totally with Mace. 3 seasons was perfect. It was the exact arc that they wanted. They did everything they wanted to do. I don't need more. I loved it more than any other show possibly ever, but I don't want more.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I would love it.
By the way, and the same goes for, I would have loved for Succession to go on forever, but 4 years is when they wrapped it up, and I'm like, all right, 4 years. They left us wanting more. Right. I think that's a good way to go.
What's up, fool?
All right, so we know the NBA voted, all the players voted on best player, all that. So MLB, the Athletic did a poll with all the players voting. No surprise, Ohtani was the best player with Cunha and Mookie Betts.
Yep.
But the one that kind of got me here is the most overrated. So these are voted on by players. Wide margin, the most overrated in players' eyes is Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's not even close. It's like 40%.
He's got a gigantic percentage of the vote, huh?
Right. And so, everybody else,
He
Cody
beat
Bellinger
Anthony
got it.
Rendon.
Right. So that's my thing here. How do you go, with your team? It's in Jazz Chisholm earlier this year is the one who called out Miguel Rojas for all the leadership, stuff with the Marlins. How is that going to make you feel knowing that, your employees kind of deal, your people you play with?
Yeah.
Ask Rudy Gobert.
I was just going to say, when they did this in the NBA, the answer was Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
And I think Rudy Gobert is actually a pretty good player. I don't hate Jazz Chisholm for any reason. I think he's exciting, but why do people think he's overrated?
I don't know. It must be an attitude thing. And I've not looked at his numbers. I'm no expert on the Miami Marlins.
His numbers are pretty low, but I think, maybe he was the cover athlete of the show last year. I don't know if people are jealous or don't think he deserved it.
Was he the cover athlete
He
of the
was,
show?
yeah.
All right.
The best batting average he's ever had, I'm looking at it, is .254. His highest on-base percentage he's ever had is .325.
How many stolen bases? What's his best stolen base total?
His best was 23 in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy.
He's
a guy.
He's a guy.
Guess the title is warranted then,
That's,
right?
that's what you say about somebody when you can't think of anything to say. Yeah,
And-
he's a guy.
And Rendon is very much
Hey,
not just
Rendon,
rated.
Look,
just rated. Like he
doesn't
knows
want
who he is.
anybody to go through what he has to go through during a baseball season.
It is too hard.
Oh, it's so
to
hard.
make millions and millions of dollars
for playing a game
and be injured.
Yes. Yeah, Jazz Chisholm, a guy.
What's up, fool?
All right, guys. So things always come back in style, or they try to.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was young, we used to wear these little jelly sandals as kids.
Okay.
And they're making their comeback. So I wanted to know, is there something from your childhood, clothing-wise or otherwise, that you would want to see come back or do not want to see.
Yeah,
come
I
back?
really like. I would like to bring back the haircut that I had when I was a kid.
The one they made you get?
No,
party in the back.
No, it was parted in the middle, feathered back, and then the mullet in the back. That was the haircut.
You were applying for
haircut.
a job on TJ Hooker?
Yeah, basically, yeah. But did you ever have parted in the middle and feathered back?
No.
Feathered back was a big thing. And then the mullet.
But maybe I'll start.
Mullets
What do you
probably
think?
weren't.
Should I try it tomorrow?
Give it a go. Mullets probably were
What do you
never
mean,
big
please
in
don't?
LA.
What's wrong with feathered in the back?
I don't know. I don't like
You don't like that?
No.
What clothing trend would I like to see come back? You know, nobody wears turtlenecks anymore.
Except Sedano.
They wear mock turtlenecks.
I was like, except Sedano.
I would welcome that. I have a bunch of sweaters in a box somewhere that are like turtleneck sweaters that I never wear anymore, but I can't really think
I
of
saw
anything
some
else.
old show this last week where somebody was wearing a leisure suit. Do you remember
Of
leisure
course.
suits?
Most ABA coaches wore them on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Larry Brown, Jack Ramsey, Doug
Yeah.
Moe, all those
What
dudes.
about bell bottoms? When can bell bottoms come back?
Those did come back.
Those did come back.
Yeah.
Oh, did I miss it?
Riley wears
Yeah.
bell bottoms.
Does she?
I haven't seen guys do it, but girls definitely do.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Parted in the middle, feathered back, mullet in the back, and bell bottoms. That's the look I want to bring back, Laura. What do you think?
Do you ever remember Stussy? Did you guys, any
Sure.
of you wear Stussy
Yeah.
clothing?
Yep.
I definitely bring back Stussy clothing. I think it might still be around. I don't know, but I loved it. I like to just draw it.
I know, like, what was
Stussy.
it? God, one of the interns had on the cargo pants, and you gave him
Oh,
so much
Graham.
crap.
Graham wears cargo
those,
pants.
Those are back.
Cargo pants are fine.
Yeah,
Why
they're
are you giving them a
fine.
hard
Pants are
time
fine.
to wear cargo
You're not
pants?
putting anything in.
No,
you are
but I
not,
like to have a lot of pockets just in case.
Who doesn't want more pockets?
Yeah,
I'm
like
fine with the
cargos
two
right now.
pockets
One's
that
got
I
a
have.
pen,
in
one's got
Beating
my
up on
sunglasses.
Graham, bring that back.
Yeah,
Go for
do it.
He loves his cargo pants.
He does.
What's up, fool?
I got another one here for you guys. So Tom Brady's jersey was retired yesterday, and going to come with the 12-foot statue. But Julian Edelman said something during one of the interviews that his cheat meal during their team dinners was one chicken wing.
One chicken wing.
One chicken wing. So I'm like, I don't know how you have that control to just have one chicken wing, or is that more psychotic that like? Just
Well,
one chicken
Brady's pretty disciplined. Like, I could never eat one Nilla wafer. Remember if anybody
Oh,
opened
yeah,
a box of
vanilla
Nilla
wafers,
wafers,
sure.
you had to have 10 of them.
Yep.
But I do not. By the way, is that the easiest number to retire ever? Can you imagine somebody trying to wear number 12 for the Patriots?
Oh, yeah, really.
But Tom Brady's famous for this, like just ridiculous discipline, so it doesn't surprise me.
You know, I have developed some discipline, Brian Cohen. I could probably eat just one wing. I ate half a piece of carrot cake over the weekend. Like, I literally cut it in half. So isn't that the same?
Did you save it for later? Or
No, I did not. I did not. Juan ate the other half. So we're down to splitting desserts. To me, that's discipline. Hard to eat just one wing, though. Once you start dredging them in that blue cheese dressing and... lately, I've just made a lot of noises like that. Delicious.
All right, Brian, is that it?
What's up, fool?
Oh, you guys want another one?
Yeah, do one
sure,
more.
what's
Sure,
that?
why the hell not?
So this one is for Ireland specifically because I
Okay.
know he loves the Kardashians.
I do.
You can't
So-
answer this, Mace.
No,
Just
yes,
for
he can.
John.
No,
It's only for
but
John.
I'm not a big Kardashian person, but I know who I work with.
Yeah.
So Khloe was asked what sister she would like to have a Freaky Friday moment with, and her answer was
can I guess?
yeah.
If I could switch places with any of the Kardashians, it would be Kendall.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
who she said.
Why?
Because
Why
she
Kendall?
has.
She's the highest paid model in the world.
Yep.
Oh.
She doesn't really do anything.
That's
She just-
exactly what she said.
So
literally-
there's Kendall, and then who's the other one?
So here's how they go in order. Are you ready?
Kylie.
Yeah.
They go Courtney,
Kim,
Khloe, Kendall, Kylie, and Rob is in there somewhere.
So Kendall and Kylie would be the ones that would switch off?
No, you can switch with any of them.
Khloe.
Freaky Friday means Khloe was asked, you got to switch with somebody in your family.
Right.
Yes.
The one you want to switch with is Kendall. She gets paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, and she really doesn't have a job.
Is she the richest one? No, I think the one that did
Kim
the
is the
makeup.
richest
Kim,
one.
yeah.
Kim is the
I
richest
heard the
one.
one that did the makeup.
That's
is
Kylie.
really-
She's got a $1 billion makeup line. But Kendall does the least amount of work and gets paid
The most.
super handsomely.
Yes.
So that's who you want to be. Laura, people used to ask me which one of the Maloof brothers I would want to be, and I'd always said I wanted to be Phil Maloof because he was just the one that spent the money. He didn't have like a job. That's Kendall.
Yeah.
She basically models. So, like if you have a new clothing line, you put Kendall in your jumpsuit, she'll charge you $200,000 for it, and then her day is done.
So I just had
Was that why Chloe picked her?
So she picked her for that reason and because she doesn't have kids and she says she's wasting her life because if she was Kendall, she would be drunk and hooking up with everybody.
I think there's a chance that Kendall is doing some of that.
She
God
says she's
bless
not,
her.
but
You're listening to KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station. I was going to say about the Kardashians. I read that Ray J was on with Shannon Sharp.
Okay. Ray J made a very famous sex tape with Kim when they were both really young.
And he said that the world would be such a different place if that sex tape had not leaked. Like, would
For
Kim
him or for Kim?
For everybody.
Okay.
For Kim.
Agreed.
Would Kim be who she is if that sex tape hadn't been leaked?
No way.
No way.
And who do you think leaked it?
Her.
I actually
mom,
think
right?
Chris.
I
Yeah,
do
her
too.
mom.
I think
Her mom.
Chris has denied it, but I think we had a conversation on the Culture Pop podcast. I think it's Chris.
Yeah, I think Chris is crazy like a fox.
She is.
Yeah.
By the way, Culture Pop Podcast right now. Go to the Culture Pop Podcast YouTube channel. Download Apple and Spotify. Paul W. Downs, who's one of the co-stars and the creator of Hacks, is on the show right now. Hacks is one of the funniest shows on TV. All right, coming up next for you. Did Kobe Bryant almost become a Memphis Grizzly? Was that possible? We got that coming up next for you. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
It was Mace. What? He trusted his gut and not those stupid analytics that you love.
How did I get into this?
Here we go, Thursday. And yes, only days away from Mandy's 3. Next Saturday night at the Commerce Casino, we will give away awards as voted by the fans of 710 ESPN. We will have fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks. And we're going to give away amazing prizes that night, including opening night tickets to Crypto.com, opening day tickets to SoFi, plus more, plus huge announcements, and we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Mason and Ireland. So you know what you got to do? You got to be there, sucker. Today is the final day to get the $49 Mandy's Ticket Deluxe. That's right, Deluxe. It's got your dinner covered, your cocktails, your raffle ticket to win so many great prizes, a limited edition Mandy's 3 t-shirt, and so much more. So go to ESPNLA.com. Buy your tickets now. And yeah, there's tables in the back, as somebody once said. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, and plenty of Mandy's 3 action where there's not a bad seat in the house, sucker. Get those deluxe tickets today, because starting tomorrow, no more deluxe tickets. Okay? Speaking of deluxe, they're celebrating their 20th year at ESPN Los Angeles. And yeah, they're going to get into all that Dan Hurley stuff. The biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon right now.
3 o'clock crowd. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Keep on listening for the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7-877-710-ESPN. You win a pair of tickets to see David Gilmour on Tuesday, October 29 at the beautiful, spectacular Hollywood Bowl. Listen all day for your chance to win on Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Now, Woj has been on ESPN talking about the Lakers head coaching job, and we pulled some of that. Go ahead and hit it, Brian.
JJ Redick will be in L.A. this weekend. This will be his first formal interview with both Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, and the Lakers owner. Redick met with Pelinka at the Chicago pre-draft combine, kind of a get-to-know-you, 90 minutes plus or so. But this will be kind of going through the full gamut. And if he performs well here, I'm told it'll largely be his job to lose. He is at the forefront of this search again, as the Lakers recalibrated after losing out on Connecticut's Dan Hurley. And this is a chance for both Redick and Pelinka, to talk through everything that goes with this job: staff, player development, all the elements, and among others, how JJ Redick would feature Anthony Davis, not just in this current iteration of the Lakers, but moving forward. And so this is a big opportunity for Redick, and he's in position right now to go in, interview well, and solidify himself as a clear front runner in this process, Al.
So the big takeaway there is basically the interview is this weekend. If he aces it, the words of Woj are largely his job to lose.
Yeah, that's more information than people have been putting out there, which is interesting.
Still got to ace the interview.
Yeah. Normally, if it gets to that point, you're just checking boxes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Once they bring you in for the interview, they're just double checking that you're not like have 666 tattooed on your forehead.
Right, but when you interview, don't you have to do you make a big presentation? Do you say, "Hey, this is this is how it's going to go"? That's what I would do too.
I would too.
Yeah,
I remember. I used to do a radio show with Jim Mora, the father. Playoffs, that Jim.
Yeah, right.
And young Jim was interviewing for the Falcons job, a job he would eventually get. And Jim told me that he did a really smart thing. He called, after they set up the interview, he called the Falcons and said, "Can you tell me how many people are going to be in the interview when I'm there and who they are?" And they said, "Yeah, it'll be Rich McKay, our president, and it'll be our owner, Arthur Blank.
Right.
And it'll be, and I think there were 5 people." And so young Jim went to Kinko's and had a giant binder, and he made 6 copies of it.
Smart.
Because there's going to be 6 people in there. And he walks into the room. He goes, "One for you, one for you, one for you. Let me walk you through this." And he got the job. I think you can never be too prepared.
So Pat Hayden, when I was working with USC, Pat Hayden, there was that moment where it came down to 3 guys. It was Coach O, Chris Peterson, Steve Sarkisian. And each one made their very best pitch. Pat wanted each one to come in and make their best pitch. Sark won. Sark made the best presentation. He didn't turn out to be the best head coach, but he did have the best presentation. So there's no guarantee. But you're right. I'd be putting together, like the big, who's the guy that used to work here who had all the PowerPoint presentations? I'd be doing it like that. Big PowerPoint presentation.
Well, you've heard me tell this story a million times. Get Pepe ready, Greg. I don't know if I've told this story to you, Greg.
I'll be
same
the judge.
Story. Okay.
Yeah.
But did I ever tell you what Maura told me about when they were trying to draft either Peyton Manning or Ryan Leaf? What happened?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. I know I've told you.
Yeah, I know it, but that's okay.
So they bring in Ryan Leaf first.
Yes.
And I've since gotten to know Ryan. I've played golf with him. I know him a little bit. And they said to Ryan at the end of the interview, hey, you're about to become a very rich man, whether we draft you or the Chargers draft you. It's going to be you and Peyton 1, 2 in whatever order. Just out of curiosity, what's the first thing you're going to do with the money? And Ryan said something along the lines. He goes, well, I want to take care of the people who've always taken care of me. So I'm going to get all my offensive linemen, the guys who kind of kept me upright my whole senior year, and I'm going to take everybody to Hawaii, and we're just going to celebrate for a week, and then everybody's going to go back to work. And they said, well, you've certainly earned it.
Right.
And thank you for coming in, blah, blah, blah. So next day they bring in Peyton Manning. And Peyton, at the end of the interview, says, they say, same question. Hey, Peyton, you're about to become very rich. What are you going to do with the money? He goes, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, but I have a favor to ask you. And Bill Polian and Jim Mora look at each other and go, oh, really? You have a favor to ask of us? And they were wondering, where's this going? Like, is he going to ask for a signing bonus or something? And he goes, and he looks right at Jim Mora. He goes, Mr. Mora, you've known me since I was a ball boy for the Saints. When you were the coach there, you know my dad, you know my family. I would like to leave here with a copy of your playbook. And I swear to you on my family's life that if you don't draft me, I will throw it away. I'll mail it back to you, and I will not tell anybody what's in it. But I want to hit the ground running, so if you take me, I'll know all the plays by the time the draft rolls around. And they said, we'd be happy to give you a part of the playbook. Yeah, absolutely. We'll give you something that you can take home and study. And he walked out of the room, and Polian looks at Moore and goes, that's our guy. So you can win or lose a job once you get to this JJ Redick interview stage.
Sure.
Depending on what you say and how you act.
Yeah.
You can do a lot.
Well, it sounds like he's sort of on his way. Yeah, that's a new story.
That was a new story for me.
Good.
Good.
Well, I've been with him 30 years, so
he's heard it 10 times. So
I hear it once a year. That's the annual.
Well, it's not once a year because I've been here 8 and I have never heard it.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah. All right.
Something new every day.
Coming up next for you. Let's do this.
Hey, somebody.
What?
Somebody. So who's in charge of our social, Greg?
Today it's Parker, I would assume.
Parker writes, tune into the legends at Venice Mace and at LA Ireland, and it's got a picture of the two of us and whatever we're talking about. Lake Show, JJ Redick, blah blah blah. And the very first response to it is from Ray Broom Broom.
Hey, Ray Broom Broom.
Legends? That's an effing insult to real legends. Get the F out of here.
No, you're right.
Ray, you are right.
Good for you, Ray.
Ray, for once we agree with you.
All right, so I want to pick up on a little bit of what Bryant talked about. There's an interesting question in this athletic survey of 100 current major leaguers. It's about vibes. Do you know which one I'm talking about, Brian?
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting polling question. So we'll talk about that coming up next. And by the way, the Dodgers, very good vibes, according to this. We'll do that next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
All right, time to talk about one of our favorite partners. Mirror Audio Video has been serving LA sports fans for more than 40 years. Isaac and Roy and the team at Mirror can deliver for you products and services that others just don't offer. Cutting-edge home automation from Crestron, Lutron, and Control4. You want to have one-touch control over everything? From your pool to your lights to your window shades, Mirror is the place. Better, faster Wi-Fi? Gotta be Mirror. And we can't stress this enough. World-class customer service. You know when you call some big company and they throw you into phone jail? Not going to happen with Mirror. You don't believe me? Try it right now. 310-234-4010. That's the number. 310-234-4010. Isaac or Roy picks up, and just like that, you're taken care of. So do like we do. Call Mir Audio Video today. Tell them Mason and Ireland sent you. They'll hook you up for sure. That's Mir Audio Video in Westwood.
And it is a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. It's Lewa. It's an Ottawa Cap. Mason in Ireland continues now.
Vote for the Mason and Ireland Show.
Voting is on now. ESPNLA.com. Bergman.
And this is the last week to vote.
Correct.
After this week, you will not be able to vote for Mason for Host of the Year, John for Most Knowledgeable, Laura for Best Smile.
You for Most Hated.
Brian, yes, me for Most Hated, Brian for Associate Producer of the Year. It's we're going to find out who wins on Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino. Vote for all the awards we will hand out right now at ESPNLA.com. Click the voting page with the Normand Legal logo on it. Vote early, vote often. Special thanks to the Law Office of Joseph S. Normand, injury attorneys you can trust. 213-747-2000.
Yep. Hang on a second.
Vote for the Mason
There you
and
go.
Ireland
Thank
Show.
you, Brian.
Thank you very much, Brian. Don't forget to go vote. Vote now, ESPNLA.com. And tickets on sale. This is like the last day for the Mandy's Deluxe All-In Adventure. Right now for just $49. Next Saturday, Commerce Casino, the great big tent. All of our listeners, all you guys, P1s, and everybody that you listen to on the radio, you got dinner. You got cocktails. You got a cool Mandy's 3 T-shirt. Somebody in attendance is going to win opening night tickets for crypto. Somebody else is going to win opening day tickets for SoFi. All kinds of amazing prizes. That's ESPNLA.com. Get your Mandy's tickets for just $49 right now. It is next Saturday at Commerce Casino.
One day when you were gone, we were talking about there's a new NHL team in Utah.
Yeah.
And they're trying to decide what to call it.
I love one of the choices.
What they narrowed it down to was the Utah Mammoth, the Yeti, Outlaws, Blizzard, Venom, and Utah Hockey Club. I said Yeti.
I vote Yeti.
Yeti and Venom were the two best to me. You know what they picked?
What?
Utah Hockey Club.
That's the one I wanted. Hell yeah.
You know what?
There you go, Utah.
I don't think that's the worst thing in the world.
It's not the best.
No, didn't you like Washington better when they were the Washington football team as opposed to the Commanders?
About changing their name again?
I know.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so that's what you get, Utah Hockey Club.
The Utah Hockey Club. All right. So, Ireland, you found this. This is Jerry West. And there was a point in time, why don't you set this up, where Kobe.
All right. So, Jerry West was on Paul George's podcast last year. I was listening to it yesterday after Jerry passed away. And this is something that even I didn't know. That when Kobe, we were one of the shows he did. He was frustrated in 2008 and he wanted to be traded. And
right.
We said to him, where do you want to be traded? He goes, Pluto, I don't care, anywhere but here. He wanted out. Apparently, remember, Jerry West had left and gone to take over the job in Memphis.
Right.
And listen to what Jerry says that Kobe told him during that time in 2008.
He became a free agent, and his agent then was Rob Pelinka. So I met them in Orange County in a hotel room, and he said he wanted to come to Memphis and play basketball. Really? And I looked at him, I said, you kidding me? Yeah. And he said, no. And I said, Kobe, no. You belong somewhere out here, okay? And even though he would have never played there, I just wanted to reassure him that don't feel like you have any obligation with me or the Grizzlies to play here. I guess in some sense that might have been tampering. I didn't look at tampering because he was at our house all the time. He ate at my house all the time. I felt more like a father figure with him. I had a wonderful relationship with him. Forget it as a basketball player. I love what he stood for. His commitment to excellence. He wasn't afraid of failing. Once you get afraid of failing, you're going to fail. He was not afraid.
Isn't that true? Once you get afraid of failing, you're going to fail?
Yeah, once you think about it too much.
Yeah, because
it
becomes the focus of your thoughts.
Right.
But I found that fascinating and Kobe had unbelievable belief in his own skills. He thought if he goes to Memphis, he'll just lead them to a title.
Right.
You know, I've told this story a bunch. He was going to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Both Mike Dunleavy and Elgin Baylor thought they had him. And Dr. Buss stepped in and saved the day. But I think Kobe honestly believed that wherever he was the place to be. That's unique confidence.
Yeah. Although, I think, and Jerry West is proof of this, that failure is a great teacher.
Sure.
I mean, he struggled to win that championship and didn't get past it all those years.
And it's the world's biggest motivator.
Yeah.
I mean, if you fail
What's your biggest failure?
Boy, there have been a bunch. Probably I made a financial investment in something and lost my shirt. It was like a terrible investment.
Yeah.
And I kept compounding the mistake by investing more.
Giving them more money.
And finally, I stopped.
Yeah.
But I ended up taking like a 6-figure loss.
Damn.
And I said to I'm like, how in the world could you do that? How could you be that stupid?
Yep.
But it taught me never to do it again, and I could sustain it.
Yeah.
I was making decent money. And so now I'm fine. But a lot of people make that type of mistake and don't survive
And
it.
don't get out of it. Exactly.
Right.
Bergman, what's your biggest failure?
Probably my marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not all your fault. That's like a marriage failing is on both people. You know.
Yeah, it is.
That's what
but
I
at the
think.
same time, like, it didn't work, and I put everything into it. I failed at it.
Yeah.
And then I had to get past it and get better.
Laura, what about you?
Oh my God, that's a really good question.
It is.
I don't know. I'm sure I failed at many things, and many listeners probably think this, but I think that I haven't done something super significantly huge to say it's a major fail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian Cohen made the decision to go on the cruise. Was that
That was a good one.
That was a good
I had a
choice.
great time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Think about it. Probably taking the extra year of college. Like I graduated in 5 years, and that's a crap ton more money. And like if I was on it,
you were
I
on the
could've-
5-year plan,
right? I was like, oh, I'm here. Well, I'm enjoying
But I had
myself.
so many friends on the 5-year plan.
I did too. My shout out to my friend Vic Karadakis, 6-year plan.
Right, I had Mark Essig 8-year plan at Bowling Green State University.
Dream.
But Brian, I wonder now, like I was one of these people who staunchly believed in college degrees and education. I no longer believe that. I think that some people are meant to go to college and other people aren't, and you can be a success whether you have a college degree or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've changed my opinion of that.
Yeah, I have too.
I think that especially if you can't afford, like my parents came to me and they said, we got good news and bad news. I said, all right, what's the good news? He said, we put away enough money to send you to UCLA and to pay for your 4-year education. I said, great. What's the bad news? If you go past 4 years, it's on you. You're paying for
there
it.
you go.
And that motivated me. I was not going. I was getting out in 4. Matter of fact, my last quarter at UCLA, I only took 2 classes because I was so worried about not getting out in 4 years that I only had 8 units away. And I knocked it out.
Now, my biggest failure can be summarized in 2 words. You know what they are?
New York.
New York. Thank you.
Oh, I was a guess.
Yeah, that was New York.
But I would argue not completely your fault.
Yeah, I was in a really tough spot, but damn, I didn't handle it well. That's when I had really, an emotional meltdown and really struggled and had a hard time.
But think about it.
I would have loved another crack at it.
Yeah, think about what you learned from it. You met Sue.
Who
Yeah,
I'm still working
lifelong
with.
friends
Yep.
with Sue.
If I had left, I never would have met Juan.
Right.
If I was still there, never would have met Juan.
Right.
Aren't you nicer now than you were before that? Because you were a jerk before that, right?
Job humbled me.
Yeah, he wasn't a jerk. He was just very
demanding,
hands-on, like
very hands-on,
very unrelenting.
Okay.
For lack of a better word.
Yeah.
But so that job humbled you, and when you came back, and
I was a
came back
nicer
here,
guy.
a nicer person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's the upside of
the
it.
old
going to
Woody
New York.
Hayes line.
Yeah.
Nothing cleanses your soul like getting the hell kicked out of you.
I got my ass kicked in that city, I can tell you that. All right, coming up next, vibes on a Major League Baseball team. Who in Major League Baseball would you most want to play with based solely on vibes? 100 Major League Baseball players were asked that question.
One name popped into my head.
Hold it. We'll do it next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Mason and Ireland on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
All right, playing a little Caddyshack music, John. The U.S. Open is going on. You got the scoreboard over there. I don't have it on my side. You've got it. What's it look like?
The leader from UCLA and Long Beach, Patrick Cantlay, 65, 5 under. Ludwig Oberg, 1 shot behind, as is Rory McIlroy, as is Bryson DeChambeau. All those guys are 4 under. Matthew Pavone and Tony Finau round out the top 5.
Boy, we're all over it because we've made mythical money bets. I've got McIlroy and Finau.
And I've got Oberg and DeChambeau. Greg, you didn't do one, did you? You didn't do
I
a golf
forgot
one?
to. I was going to, and I forgot to do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did a lot of research, cranked out the numbers.
Hey, you hit the last major.
I did hit the last. I think I got number 1 and number 2 at the last major, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, I want to take a minute to wish a happy birthday to my mom, Donna Mashonsky.
No kidding. When's her birthday?
It is today.
Oh, wow.
She
Happy
turns,
birthday, Donna.
She
You're not
turns
going to say, are you?
80-something.
Donna's going to be mad at you
Yeah.
for saying that she's 80. Donna, I think you don't look a day over
Yeah.
21.
She'll be at the Mandy's next week. Wish her a happy birthday next
Beautiful.
week at the Mandy's. She and not stepdad Leo. The 2 most important people in my life. Sorry, John Ireland.
That's okay.
Are Juan and my mom. And wish her
And
the
the
happiest
dogs.
of
I think
birthdays.
the dogs have got to be up
My
there,
dogs
too.
are right up there too. But I want to tell a story. This is a weird story I'm going to tell. So, I was listening to on my way home yesterday. I was listening to Tim Conway's show. We had gone to commercial, so I put on Tim Conway's show, and Fred Rogan was on it. And Fred mentioned
Talking about Jerry West?
Well, no, yeah, he was, but then he mentioned at the end that he does this TV show in Palm Springs, and he does every night. He does a TV show in Palm Springs. So I texted Fred and I said, my mom and her boyfriend watch your show every single night. And Fred said, well, send me their number. I'll take them to dinner. And I was like, no, really? Yes, he's going to take my mom and Leo to dinner.
Why not? He's got nothing but time
Yeah.
between the early show and the late show.
It's such a great guy.
Really cool.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
People always like, oh, we've got this bitter rivalry with people. Nah, we like everybody. We like everybody over there. It's totally cool.
I don't think everybody likes us over here.
What do you mean?
I don't think everybody over there likes us over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who? Well, I mean, Fred does, obviously.
Fred does.
Yeah. Other people don't like us?
Get out of this one. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Other people don't
I don't
like
know
us?
who it is, but I
Who-
just
who
feel
hates
like
us?
I don't know.
Petros?
Maybe.
Well,
Money?
Well, but
Maybe.
Rodney?
Petros rips everybody, though. He's
Yeah.
an equal opportunity offender.
He rips. Vassay probably doesn't
Tim
like what we
Cates?
do over here. I don't know Tim Cates enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know any of them enough. To be
Yeah,
honest with you.
I don't either.
Right.
They're all
They all seem
very
like
nice
really
guys.
good guys.
Yeah, everybody over there. I like everybody over there. We're
Oh,
all in the
Mace.
same boat. Yeah.
McIlroy.
Okay. Taking the lead?
He just birdied 18. He's tied for the lead. I can't believe I left him off my list.
Nice.
I always pick an Irishman, and I left him off.
Yeah, I got him at 12-1.
That you don't want to hear something stupid? That's why I left him off. I didn't think I could
The
make any
odds,
money on
yeah,
him.
the odds are short. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I want to do this thing, and then we'll get to Game of Games. 100 Major League Baseball players surveyed by The Athletic. The question is this. Going solely on vibes, who do you most want on your team?
Okay, one name popped into my head, and I've had more time to think about it, so
Yep.
some other names have creeped in, but the one name, as soon as you asked it, that popped into my head was Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper is number 4 on this list.
That was a
That's
good
a
guess.
good one. Yeah.
4% of player. 4%
He
of
just
this
seems
100.
like he has fun playing baseball. He's a really good player. And his vibe is really good.
How about Juan?
Mookie is another one. I would love to
That's
play
what
with
I
Mookie.
have.
I don't
Mookie
think so.
is number 1.
Really?
Yeah,
see?
Mookie.
You
Wow.
said
Mookie
no.
is number
I did
1 in
not-
terms of vibes, the guy you would most want on your team.
Greg was like, no.
No, I didn't think he would be.
Is Freddie Freeman on there? I'd like him too.
Freddie Freeman is not on there. There are 2 other Dodgers on there.
Kike?
Teoscar.
Okay.
Boy, did you see Teoscar drop that ball last year?
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, there were problems last night. Who did you say, Laura?
Kike.
Kike Hernandez actually is on the list.
He's
He's
a
at
vibe.
the bottom of the list, 2%.
Yeah, he's a vibe
but
guy.
Yeah, he is.
By the way, did you guys have any
And you're
problem-
missing number 2. It's Shohei.
Yeah, well, his is so good.
Otani. Here is just the. I'll read the names: Mookie, Shohei, Acuna,
Soda.
Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, Mike
Judge
Trout.
is good.
Down the list: Garrett Cole, Kike Hernandez, Frankie Lindor, and Garrett Stubbs. Those are the lists. Guys you would most want to play with based solely on vibes. So the Dodgers have 3 vibes guys: Mookie, Shohei, and Kike. Pretty good. And by the way, last night, Andy Pajes runs through the stop sign of Dino Evil.
I was just going to ask you guys. I had zero issue with that, Greg. I thought make them make a perfect throw. They did. Dodgers end up losing. I liked the aggressiveness of Pajes because if they don't make a perfect throw, he ties the game.
If they do, it wasn't so much a perfect throw. There was a cutoff guy, so it went to the second baseman. The second baseman had a straight shot to the plate.
Right.
No, he's getting called up by a mile. I didn't like it because of that. It's a toot bland.
Explain that. What is it again?
It's a toot bland.
Toot bland.
What does that mean?
It means. I just got.
You guys talked about it on the Blue Review.
Yeah, so Marcus Grant loves this thing. It's called a toot bland. It's thrown out on the bases like a nincompoop.
Like a nincompoop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Toot bland.
Yeah, see, I mean, if I'm a rookie and I see a veteran third base coach like Dino Ebel say, stop.
He's probably gonna,
I stop.
He's probably going to get either yelled at or fined for it.
Sure.
But I liked his aggressiveness.
Yeah. I think Pajes is a great player.
He's going to be really good. He was on first base, and once he saw the bobble in the outfield, he's like, I'm going home. That was the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Biggio had a hit already earlier, and you don't know anything about him right now.
Yeah, he would have been the next batter.
I don't know. I mean, you probably don't trust the guy that, like Travis
and
said
with
earlier.
2 outs.
And with 2 outs. But you never, and you said it before, Mace, you never make the last out at the plate.
Yeah.
But I've heard you never make the last out at third.
Well,
You
third
never,
and
But you have somebody standing there going, stop. Stop.
It's a suggestion.
Yeah, it's just a
Not when it's Dino Evil, is it?
Yeah. All right, whose game is it today? Brian Cohen's game. We're going to do some game of games coming up next. Mason, Ireland, 710 ES. About that, yeah. So I mentioned New York and how I struggled in New York. That's actually where I came to terms with my mental health issues. I was diagnosed bipolar 1 and have managed it ever since. I've got my ups and downs. You've got your ups and downs. Maybe you're struggling at work, or you're having a problem at home, in your relationship, depressed, anxious, any of that stuff. The LA County Department of Health is here to support you through all that stuff. If you want free emotional support, just somebody to talk to. If you want a service referral to a mental health professional, if you're in crisis, call their 24/7 helpline at 800-854-7771. You can also visit their website at dmh.lacounty.gov. Your mental health is their priority. Let them be your support on this journey. Together, let's shape a brighter tomorrow with hope and recovery and well-being. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
And it is
710 ESPN.
And it is time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in L.A., Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, here we go. It is Game of Games time. It is Brian Cohen's game today. He's back from his cruise, where everything went well.
Swimmingly.
Yes, swimmingly.
Hopefully
yes.
not.
All right, so we got 4 players.
Yeah,
right?
Laura, Greg, me, you.
All right, and what's the score for the month, Bergman? You got it?
do. It's Ireland 3 and everybody else 1.
Wait, I
You have
won
0.
yesterday, so I have 4 now.
Yes, you have 4.
I have 0.
My computer died, so I don't have it in front of me.
All right,
Go ahead,
Brian, what do you got?
All right, in honor of the Sunday, Father's Day, shout out my pops, Robert. Know you're listening. Shout out.
There you go, Robert.
Got a little Father's Day game here for you.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Number 1. In the new addition to the Dodgers, Kevin Biggio's father is a Hall of Famer, Craig Biggio. Who had more home runs in their rookie season, Kevin or Craig?
Laura.
Craig.
Greg.
I'm going to go Kevin. He had a lot in his rookie year.
Mace.
I'm going to go Kevin.
I'm also going to go Kevin.
It is Kevin.
Yeah,
16 to 10.
16, okay.
Yeah, all right, so everybody on the board except for Laura.
Ken Griffey Sr. played 19 seasons in the MLB. Son Jr. played 22. They were the first father-son combo to play on the same team. Who had more career stolen bases, Senior or Junior?
Greg.
I don't know too much about Senior's speed, but Junior was fast. I'm going to go Junior.
Mace.
I'm going to go Senior.
I'm also going Senior. Laura.
I think it's a trick one because I would go Junior, but I am going to go Senior.
It is Senior.
Yeah.
All right, everybody but
He
Greg.
was fast.
I didn't know anything about it.
He batted second on the big red machine, so you know he's on base a lot. In between Pete Rose and Joe Morgan, that's a pretty good spot.
Number 3 here. In the U.S., how much money was spent on Father's Day in 2023? For example, Mother's Day was $28 billion.
Okay.
So is it $8 billion, $16 billion, or $20 billion?
And how much did you say the moms were?
$28 billion.
All right, Mace. This is you.
I'll say $16 billion.
I'm going to go 8 because nobody buys dad's squat.
Dads really don't do well.
Laura.
I'm also going 8.
Greg.
100% 8.
It's $20 billion.
Nobody got
it. Wow.
I can guarantee you none of that was spent on my house.
Yeah.
It's just one guy spending $2 billion on something.
Really.
Dads
Steve
really get
Ballmer
overlooked.
bought a bunch of presents, and that was it.
All right, here we go. Number 4. Vladdy Guerrero Sr. and Vladdy Jr. both have had 40-plus home run seasons. Who, between the two of them, has had more home runs in a single season? Vladdy Jr. or Vladdy Sr.?
Oh, that's a hard one. Because Vlad Sr. was a great hitter. I'm going to go Junior. Laura.
I'm going to go Senior.
Greg.
Junior went nuts this last. I'm going Junior.
Yeah, I'm going Junior also.
It is Junior 48, Senior 44.
Oh,
wow.
Close.
All right, so everybody but Laura again. All right, Mason 3, Ireland 3, Greg 2, Laura 1. Here we go.
Tony Gwynn, one of the game's best hitters for 20 seasons. His son Junior, short stint on the Dodgers, played for 8 years total. Who had more career strikeouts? Tony Sr. in 20 seasons or Junior in 8?
Laura.
Go Junior.
You're asking who had more strikeouts,
More
right?
strikeouts,
Greg.
yes.
So Junior, or Senior barely struck out. I'm going to go Junior.
Mace.
I'm going to go Junior.
I'm also going to go Junior. It's unanimous.
It is Tony Sr.
Oh, we all missed it.
He's 430 over 20 years, though. And Junior, 308. So close.
So close, but yeah.
Right. One more year, he probably would have passed.
Yep. Yeah, no kidding. All right, how many you got left, Brian?
I got 5 left.
Okay. Keep going.
All right, MT and Clay, we know, combined
Yeah.
for 6 NBA championships. Who averaged more points their rookie year? MT or Clay?
Greg, this is you.
Ooh, that's tough. MT was number 1 overall pick. I'm going to go MT.
Mace.
MT.
I'm going Michael. Laura. You need to catch up.
Michael or Clay?
I know I need to catch up, but I want to say MT, but I need to catch up, so I'll say Clay.
Should have went MT. It is Michael 14, Clay at 12.
Let's try to make a point.
Mason and I still tied with 4. Greg has 3. Laura has 1. 3 left?
Four left.
4 left. Okay, keep going.
Patrick Surtain and Asante Samuel, both cornerbacks in the NFL for 11 seasons. Both of their sons currently in the AFC West. When you combine the father-son combo, who has more career interceptions? The Surtain family or the Samuel family?
Mace, this is you.
That's actually close, I bet.
I'm going to say the Surtain family.
I also think it's the Surtains. Laura?
I'm with both of you, Surtains.
Greg?
I actually think it's the Samuel family.
Okay, if you get this, Greg
It
ties
is the
it.
Samuel family.
Right.
Way to go,
Bergman with the
Right.
steal.
I'm
Nice.
out.
All right, Laura's out. 2 left, Brian?
3 left.
3 left. Okay, so we can. I'll go first on this one. We'll move it around.
Okay, Bobby Bonds, 3-time Gold Glove winner, 332 career home runs. Barry Bonds leads all of baseball in home runs, 7-time MVP award. Who had more All-Star Game MVPs, Bobby or Barry?
Wow.
I'm thinking this is a trick question.
It sure sounds like a trick question. It's a setup.
But I'm still taking Barry. Greg?
We're going to have a leader after this. I'm going to go Bobby. I don't think
Mace?
Barry won very many All-Star Game MVPs.
I'm going to go Bobby.
It is Bobby.
I take the lead.
So I've fallen behind. Mason and Bergman have 5. I have 4.
By the way, Bobby Bonds
left.
is a super underrated player. He
Absolutely.
was great. He was great.
Yeah, Barry Bonds never won the All-Star Game MVP.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, 2 left here. Jim Harbaugh's dad, Jack, coached college football early 80s. Who had more wins, Jack in his last year coaching at Western Kentucky or Jim's first year at Michigan? Had more wins.
Greg?
Oh, jeez, it was his last year. Jim in his first year. Actually,
I'm trying to remember how good they were his first year.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember too. I'm going to go with Jim.
Mace?
I'm also with Jim.
I'm taking my shot. I'm going Jack.
Happy you did. It was Jack.
All right.
We're all tied up.
That is a 3-way tie at 5. Mason has to go first. Here's the last one.
New York Yankees manager Aaron Boone's father and grandfather both played in the MLB. Between the three of them, who had the longest playing career? Grandfather Boone, Father Boone, or Aaron Boone?
Mace.
Father Boone.
I also think it was Bob Boone. I think he played for a really long time. Greg?
Yeah, I'm with the crowd.
We're all going father.
It is Father Boone, 19
Okay.
years.
Do you have a tiebreaker, Brian?
I do, yes.
All right, Greg, you got something to write
I do.
with?
I do have a
Mace?
pen.
I do
Good.
too.
All right, Brian, what's the tiebreaker?
All right, this one shouts out Bryan Cranston here. Bryan Cranston played the role, 2 of his most famous roles in Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad. Played a dad on both of those. When you combined the episodes for Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad, how many total episodes are there?
Okay. I'm going to go... okay. I got a number.
I got a number.
All right. Greg, what'd you write down?
I wrote 175.
Oh, my God. I wrote 171.
I wrote 200.
213. This one goes
Oh, man. I figured 5 seasons of 10 episodes each.
I figured 140 of Malcolm and 60 of Breaking Bad. That's how I got
very
to
close.
200.
151 of Malcolm, 62 Breaking Bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
You would have won both showcases.
Right in the ballpark.
That was
All
a good
right.
game, Brian.
Yeah,
Good job,
very
Brian.
Good
Thank you.
game, Brian writes some good. Did you write that on the boat?
No, I wrote it last night. Yeah.
Did you know when you were on the cruise ship where the life rafts were? Just like,
Just in case, like if there was a Titanic situation, would you have known what to do?
Oh, of course.
No, Brian, I was on a cruise. I would have had no idea.
You knew where the emergency boats were?
The boats are just right on the side of the ship. You just got to go to the side of the ship.
What about a flare gun? Did you have a flare gun just in case the whole thing went down?
My hand's in the captain's hands.
Oh, right. There you go.
No, Brian, here's what you do. You do what Mason would have done. Go full Billy Zane. Grab some little baby and say, she's all I've got.
Yeah,
right. Save us. Come on.
And then get into the boat. She's all I have. Not even yours, you liar. Come on.
Yeah, he was. That's a bad character. By the way, Dodgers lineup's out. Interesting. Betts, Ohtani, Freeman. Teoscar batting cleanup. Andy Pages is 5th. Then Hayward, Lux, Biggio, and Austin Barnes with Michael Grove. I guess this is a bullpen game today, right?
Yeah, bullpen game. They wanted to push back Yoshinobu Yamamoto next
So they're giving Biggio basically an audition here until Max Muncy's back.
Yeah, I mean,
Sounds
I think he's going to be their left-handed bat at third base, and obviously they're facing a right-hander tonight because we got Hayward, Lux, and Biggio all in there. So, who are we missing? Who got Oh, Will Smith tonight.
Yeah,
That's what it is. That's why
Barnes is pitching.
That's why Teoscar's in the cleanup spot.
Yep.
All right. There you have that. Let's see. You want to do some super crosstalk?
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason in Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
No Love Boat. Does that mean he's gone? Is the contract's over and he's gone?
Beto's in.
No, but
Beto's in.
did Kaplan get fired?
Is Kaplan gone?
We don't know. He still only has a couple days
I don't know. I
left.
found out about 2 hours ago, so I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just found out?
Maybe they got in an impasse.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
It's take it or leave it situation.
Hey, Beto, somebody asked me a question today, and I don't know the answer, but you will. Best taco near Crypto.com Arena is where?
Oh, near Crypto?
Near where we're sitting right now.
There's actually a truck that's about 3 streets over.
Is it always there?
Always there, especially at night. I don't know the name.
What street is on? Do you know?
No, I just know you go down, what is this, Olympic?
Yeah,
you
Olympic
go that
is-
way.
yeah.
It's like if you're going towards the Arts District. That
Is
way.
it Flower?
okay.
No.
I don't know. Like,
you go
like
down
going towards
Olympic?
Palm.
All right, so
Going
next,
El Cholo, Palm, that way.
next
Oh, yeah,
time,
Flower.
next time you're
Flower.
out, take note of the
Yes.
streets and let me know where it is.
I kid you not, the one across from the movie theater that always jams.
Laura, is the one that was inside the car wash across the street gone?
Yeah, that's gone.
That one's gone.
Yeah, that was a good taco.
I don't know what's going on there.
Avenue
at that
26
corner.
is pretty good, but it's far. Far
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah.
No, that was
So,
a good spot. It was a good spot. We took Cappy on a little taco adventure the other day.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Is Shadano there or not yet? Not yet. Okay, he's having dinner with PJ Carlissimo.
And it just
Or actually, like late lunch with PJ.
well, no, it's 7 o'clock where he. Well, no, he's in Dallas, so
He's in
it
Dallas.
is 6 o'clock.
Right,
where he
it's
is.
just late. It's like early. It's cocktails.
What's up, Mace? You look good.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You too.
You look really skinny.
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah,
I'm going for lean, man.
Why do you keep the scruff though?
I like the. Why do you keep the scruff?
Because I had I hide my chins with it.
Oh,
That's why.
see, I think it makes my chin look more prominent.
Yeah. Okay.
So we were talking about last night. I don't know. You probably saw the Dodger game. I don't know if you were there last night.
No, where was I don't even know where was I yesterday.
Well, did you see the end? Have you heard what happened at the end?
With Pajes?
When Pajes ran through
I have
Dino
zero
Eagle's
issue
stop
with
sign.
him doing that. I think that they had to make a perfect throw to nail him. I know he made the final out at home, which baseball traditionalists don't love, but I have zero issue with him being aggressive. I think you make them make a great throw.
Yeah, and Pajes, I saw the interview afterwards, and he just said he saw the center fielder bobble it, and he just put his head down and ran.
And didn't even look.
He was going on instinct. He's a rookie, and he will not make that mistake twice.
Yeah, I'm sure they yelled at him after.
They absolutely went after him.
Yeah.
So, Mace, are you going to win Mandy's?
You know, it's a good question.
Are you campaigning still?
I am not. First of all, still doesn't mean anything because
You
I've
said
not been
on
campaigning.
this show, I want to win.
You did.
For show of the year.
No, for host of the year.
No, I
You
want
were
to win
lobbying
for show
for
of
host
the
of the
year.
year about
That's
a month
why I
ago.
started my anti-Mason campaign.
Right. Why are you anti-me?
Because you
You're
said
so
you want
anti-me.
Because you said you wanted to win.
Right. It'd be nice to win.
The good news
It'd be nice
is
to win
George Shadano is joining us from Dallas, and now, George, it looks pretty clear that you will not have to miss the man.
Yeah, no, you're going to be here, Shadano.
Yeah, it looks unless we end up getting something that's only happened less than a handful of times or whatever it's been. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Yeah, which was weird. I'll say this. I thought Luka embarrassed himself a little bit last night, and I love Luka. I think Luka is a great player, but George, you can't foul out on that sixth foul. What is he doing 40 feet away from the basket, body checking Jason Tatum? It doesn't make sense.
Right. It was crazy. And you could tell Jason Kidd at the podium did everything he could to kind of restrain himself from having this same conversation we're having.
Right.
I mean, he did say that I think something to the effect of like, yeah, it's not ideal to be trying to make that play beyond the 3-point line or whatever. It just Luka lost his bleep in the fourth quarter yesterday with the officials, more so. Basically, everything that everyone says about him He had been more restrained by his standards recently, but everything got unraveled in the fourth quarter of this game. He just went nuts, and he's not going to curry any favor with the officials in general, so they're not going to give him those calls, even though that's a bang-bang 50-50 call.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Dan Wojcicki has weighed in on what's going on with the Lakers. Let me throw these three things in. James Borrego is, this is all according to Wojcicki. James Borrego is not interested in an assistant role. He'll take the head coaching job, but not interested in assistant.
Okay.
Same thing with Sam Cassell. Not interested in an assistant role. That's number one. Number two, Lakers don't view a hire by the draft as an absolute necessity, and they're looking at packaging all 3 firsts in a deal. We all assume that. And 3, Mace, this is the most interesting one. Expect an experienced coaching staff. So maybe the Lakers are holding to their guns on this, that they will have input. It's not going to be like, George, we were talking about this earlier. What blew up Ty Lue 5-6 years ago
was they wanted Jason Kidd. They wanted to force Jason Kidd on him.
Right. Well, and they wanted to dictate who his assistants would be. That was part of the problem. The other thing was term. They wanted Ty wanted
money.
5 years.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing was the money, and then the other part was
the 3 years is
but
just
I was,
not in line.
What we were debating earlier was, okay, if a coach comes in, one thing these guys tend to ask for when they're being hired is, I want to hire my own assistants. Almost everybody asks for it. If you're a first-time head coach, let's throw JJ Redick out as an example.
Okay.
I don't think it's unreasonable for the Lakers to insist that he has some experience on that bench. And when I say experience, I'm talking like somebody that's been a head coach. Scott Brooks, J.B. Bickerstaff, somebody like that. I think that's reasonable. How about you?
I do think that's reasonable, and I would also say the Lakers were negligent of doing that with Darvin. It was one of my biggest criticisms.
And Luke.
Yeah, and Luke, for that matter. So, but here's the thing, and I have not talked to JJ about this at all, okay? So I know Cappy thinks I'm crazy that
You're holding out. You're holding out.
Well, no, aren't you asking him during? He goes, hey, what are you going to say in the interview?
Because Cappy thinks like he thinks like everyone should act like him in that scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where
nobody should
would be
like
peppering.
ever do what he does.
Would be. I mean, think about it. If Cappy were in my situation, how annoyed would JJ Redick be with Cappy already?
Everybody would be annoyed.
PJ would not invite him to dinner.
Oh,
no,
I mean,
right.
Well, George,
Doris Burke would see him coming, he'd turn tail.
I won $5,000 off of Bergman because Bergman thought that they were going to bring it up on the finals telecast. That they're going to. He said they've got JJ Redick right there. They've got to ask him about it. I'm like, they absolutely will not touch it.
You thought Mike Breen was going to ask him about the Lakers job?
Bergman is tuned out.
Yeah, Bergman.
In what context did you think they would bring up JJ Redick and the Lakers in the finals telecast?
I just figured that if he was sitting right there and there was this offer out for Dan Hurley, be like, hey, so Dan Hurley got offered the Laker job.
What about you?
Like, what are your thoughts, Doris Burke? What do you think about that, Doris Burke? Oh, here you are, JJ. What do you think about this, JJ?
If he was a guest, yeah, but not your colleague.
It's not first take. It's Mike Breen is doing the broadcast for guys.
Bad dog. What are you gonna do?
We made the bet, and I said when I made the bet, I'm like, I'm going to lose this.
Yeah.
But I'm getting odds, so I will do it.
You must have
it wasn't like oh my God, this has to happen.
We have so much fake money, it's ridiculous. So much mythical money.
So I would say, Mace and John, to answer that question is that JJ's really smart. He's not a dummy. Like, of course, if he got the job, he would have a pretty, I would imagine, experienced lead assistant.
Let me ask you, Shadana, when he makes his presentation or when he has his interview, doesn't he already have an idea of the kinds of people or specific guys that he would like to bring with him? And isn't it foolish if he doesn't bring a bunch of experience to his coaching staff?
Yeah, right. And he's not foolish, to my point.
Yeah.
So if that indeed is the case when he interviews formally, as we now know is going to happen this weekend, then I think that would be part of the conversation. I think, I don't remember who reported it because there's just so many reports now.
There's so many people now, yeah.
That I want to say, maybe, you know what, I believe it was Chris Haynes went on the Dan Patrick Show a couple weeks ago and said that he was already putting out feelers for staff.
I did see that, yes.
It's taken so long. Yeah. He's been doing it for a while. He knows who's going to come with him. It's been a few months now that JJ's going to have.
I mean, we've heard his name. Yeah, it's been a month.
Yeah.
It's been a month that we've been hearing about JJ Redick.
Yeah, so he has his staff. He knows who he wants.
Yeah, and the big thing is, essentially, Woj said today, if he aces his interview this weekend. If he aces his interview.
Oh, but I don't think, Beto, you say I don't think
it will largely his job. It's largely his job to
Who else,
lose.
George?
Right, but
Borrego says he doesn't want to be an assistant. Sam Cassell doesn't want to be an assistant. So who else?
Right, but they could hire one of those guys to be the head coach, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Yeah.
I'm with George. I don't think JJ is a lock. I don't.
Beto, I don't see anyone as a lock. As I have maintained this position. He is the favorite, but I don't think he's a lock. And I will tell you, and I'm telling you, I don't. You scoff at it, but I'm telling you, it is not a lock by any stretch of the imagination.
I've become Kaplan now. Now I'm like, it's already happening.
See, I kind of think
we miss you. Get back here. So
when I start hearing things like it's his job to lose, or largely his job to lose, is what Woj said today on SportsCenter, based on having a successful interview.
But that's not a lock.
That's a big, big to get over is acing your interview. But if he does, it sounds like he's the guy to beat.
That I would agree with.
Yeah.
Right. And listen, no one's more connected than Woj, so yeah, of course. But being his to lose is not a lock, though, right? Like those words are not the exact same thing. And Woj is very careful because if it was a lock, he'd say it. He's the guy.
That's why I'm reading his words directly. I don't want to mischaracterize what he said.
Sonano, how would I explain what Pablo Torre is doing now? Is he working for Metal-Arc?
Yeah, he works for Levitard's company, and he basically is created this podcast. It's very similar in style at times to the ESPN Daily podcast he used to do, but I would say more. It's a mixture of of journalism, which he was a great writer journalist for many years.
Right.
While also mixing in more fun than the ESPN Daily did. ESPN Daily was very serious. His podcast has episodes that have more
it's
just
looser.
more fun and entertainment to it.
This one that he did 2 days ago was not fun, but it was super interesting. And I'm just curious. I don't want anybody to get political here, but I'm curious, George, if it's even come up since you're at the finals. What Pablo did was a story about when Mark Cuban sold the Mavericks, he sold them to the Adelson family.
Right, the casino family.
Right, and who owns a bunch of casinos, and that's what they're talking about down there. It hasn't happened yet. What they're talking about is building a new arena, which would have a casino, and it would be, basically reinventing the Mavericks in Dallas with a much bigger cash flow. But the Adelsons are super political, and they gave like $100 million to a Donald Trump super PAC. And I'm curious, did that, had they won, they're not going to win, the Celtics are going to win, would Marian Adelson be the one to accept the trophy, or would Cuban?
No, she's not the governor. She's not the governor.
So it's her son that's the governor?
Her son is the governor, yeah.
So he would have done it. If they win.
Yeah, I met the son. Yeah.
Okay. So what is Mark Cuban's role now?
He's a minority partner. He owns 27% of the team.
Is he still if I want to make a trade, and I call Nico Harrison to make a trade, does he have to run that by Cuban?
No.
Okay, so Mark has stepped back.
Correct. He's just a minority partner. He's still very front-facing. He's the biggest Mavs fan there is, and I ran into him yesterday. But yeah, he sold whatever it was, 73% or whatever it was for $3.5 billion.
This woman, Adelson, Miriam, is worth $34.2 billion.
Wow. Yeah, they're one of the richest families in the world. Her husband Sheldon passed away, but they have, and they lived in Las Vegas. And they were in the casino business.
The Sands Corporation.
But what I was interested when Pablo did his thing, George, is that it just seems weird to me that Mark Cuban has stepped completely back. I mean, we all know Mark a little bit. I wonder if he's going to get involved with another team. He tried to buy into the NFL at one point. It wasn't successful. Tried to buy the Pittsburgh Pirates, which was a team you weren't growing up.
He grew up loving, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Do you think George Mark's done being a primary sports owner? He's just going to take the money and live his life?
I don't know. I think Mark has political aspirations.
Yeah, by the way,
himself.
I was going to say, aside, we don't want to get political, but 4 years from now, it would not surprise me at all to see Mark
He goes after Elon all the time.
himself in,
so
in the
maybe
presidential
that's part
race.
of this thing, too, is that he's buying into a family that is known for making large political contributions. Maybe that's the beginning of a political career for Mark Cuban. I don't know. I just found that he was probably George, would it be safe to say probably the most recognizable NBA owner until he sold? I mean, everybody knew what Mark Cuban was
public
like.
facing for sure.
He was at every game.
Yeah.
And on the bench.
I mean,
doing
I think the
interviews.
next. I think probably Ballmer is now that guy, right?
Right.
Because he's at every game, going crazy,
most
and doing
recognizable guy.
those
Yeah.
Super Ballmer fan things. Like I love it. I love Ballmer.
I mean,
Like,
years ago, you could go to Sharky's in Hermosa, and Cuban would be in there buying shots for everybody.
Yeah, he still has a place down
Oh,
there.
does he still?
Yeah, in Manhattan Beach. So, it'll be interesting to see
Yeah,
what...
Cuban is still very much around. Though.
The reason I brought it up is
ran into him yesterday.
simply to ask this question: what's next for him? I don't know, but
Yeah, I
it
have no
seems weird.
You want me to ask him?
Sure.
Yeah,
It
ask
seems-
him.
it
I mean, he's not
seems
going to tell
And
me.
while you're
but,
at
I
it,
mean,
ask
yeah.
JJ about the Lakers job.
Yeah, I have purposely
your
stayed
coach?
away from that one, Mace.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Cap is. You have no idea. You guys have no idea. Beto knows a little bit because he's been in on the show with us.
Yeah.
He's so angry with me that I have not injected myself into
Well,
this.
you know what Cappy has? I mean, this is psychological. He's got boundary issues.
Oh, no question.
He's like in everybody else's business and wants
But
everybody in his.
He leans into that.
Oh, he does. It's what makes him entertaining.
But
But
it's funny because Rachel says to him that he needs to create more boundaries. But my point to him is it's because you don't allow boundaries for anyone else.
If he's not careful, Rachel is going to create a boundary.
Yeah, fair point.
All right, we are officially back tomorrow at 1. It'll be a combo plate. Make sure you're here.